this one.
Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, we are continuing on with our ongoing session, our campaign, playing Robert Schwab's incredible horror, dark fantasy role-playing game, Shadow of the Demon Lord, using the framework of the old 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons Adventure Path, Scales of War as the framework for our story. Now, I see my little reminders come up here, guys. I'm just going to double check and make sure that we are actually streaming before I do the introductions. Let's see if we're actually going here. Story. Boom, we are. Look at that, guys. I see my little hot diggity damn. Now, with me for tonight's sessions is the usual cast or the usual stars of this campaign. I'll go the order that you guys logged in. First up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and wow, I'm playing Oberon Bloodhoof, the psychic healer, I guess I would say.
Yep. And next up is Steve O.
Yo, I am playing Nutai Lethalis, who is an elf, rogue, thief, avenger, burglar, gambler, informant, and pickpocket.
Did you take prostitute as your final profession?
I'm still thinking about it. Mulling that one over.
Nice. And last but not least is James.
Hi, I'm playing Ember, a tiefling wizard. She likes to destroy stuff.
Yes, she does. And joining us later on tonight will be two of our other regular players, Brent playing, who's playing? Halen Windspeaker, the elf monk, and Dave playing Oberon, or sorry, Rakkus Bloodhoof, the brother to Oberon and the resident barbarian in our group. So, guys, why don't we do the, let's see here, the camera shuffle and get ourselves into Roll20. I'm actually not logged into Roll20 at this point. So I'll hop in there. Okay. There we go. Let me set up to share screens here as well. There we go. I will present to everyone. I'll turn my camera off. Set it to myself. And oopsies, wrong thing. There we go. And hit refresh in Roll20, and then we'll see what's going on. There we go. Well, I gotta switch screens because I'm in the wrong thing here. Okay. So last we left our heroes, you guys were in the vault. Oh, I gotta switch characters here. Steve, you are not playing Xavier.
I'm sorry? Oh.
I say you're not playing Xavier. I got Corey's character set in the crypt rather than you for some reason. I don't know why that happened. But Xavier tends to pop up at the most unusual times, so that does make a little bit of sense. Get him out of there. Well, you know what? Maybe what I should do is just move Xavier outside. And then, boom. Do you see yourself in there now, Steve-O?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, who would like to do the recap of last session?
Oh man, what I remember.
There's a lot that happened last session. Do you remember that you guys were commissioned to go to the Monastery of the Broken Chain?
Man. Vaguely.
Okay, so what happened? Let me try to see if I can help in here. secondary vault. There we go. So what happened last session was you guys were commissioned by Overlook to assault, or rather to ensure that the vault of the Monastery of the Broken Chain was safe. Let me bring you guys to the map, that awesome Elsir Vale map first. So this is, of course, the Elsir Vale, guys, with some giant character tokens on it. You guys, our session opened with you guys in Overlook. Overlook was your hometown, the place you're from, and separating Overlook from the Orc country are the Stonehome Mountains. The Stonehomes have a one easily navigable pass through it, which is protected by a massive fortress called Bordrin's Watch. And the reason you guys came to Overlook again was because of the threat of an orc horde. There were millions of these monsters marching on the Stonehome Mountains, and if they breached that barrier, they would lay waste to the Elsir Vale. As a result, Overlook hired anybody who could hold a sword to try and help stem the tide, destroy the horde, and drive them back into Orc country, where they normally go for about, or they normally dissipate for around a decade. In this case, though, you guys were tasked with a very special task. Thanks to the incredible glowing review from the local Elsir Consortium representative in Brindle, who had witnessed you save the city of Brindle not once but twice and rescue people from Rivenor, the Council of Overlook tasked you with two things: making sure that the monastery, the Sundered Chain, was, I keep saying broken and sundered. I think it's broken chain, actually, not sundered. Monastery of the Broken Chain was secure, and then to have those people, or have the warrior monks who live there, march to Overlook. The other thing you were told was that there was a vault beneath the Monastery of the Broken Chain that had a bunch of effectively weapons in them that could potentially be used by the Orc horde against the army, which would likewise be really bad news. Finally, there were maps in the records of the Monastery of the Broken Chain that could lead persons through highways under the Stonehome Mountains in the Darklands. So those are the three things you were told to watch out for. When you arrived there, you found a titanic red dragon soaring above the monastery, and something strange atop one of the spires, the highest spire. You later recognized that it was some figure crucified at the top of the spire. You also recognized that it was unusual for a red dragon to be serving a orc horde. They are creatures of fury and fire and scale, and they serve no masters, willingly at least. And they certainly don't ally themselves with orc hordes. Why? There's nothing an orc horde would do that would service their interests. So why the hell is a red dragon here is a very important question. You guys successfully infiltrated the Monastery of the Broken Chain. You fought your way past and killed the head of this expedition, a vile and brutal orc whose name I can't remember right now. I did not have it down. I just named them other things. So I don't remember what his name was, but boy was he scary. And boy did you kill him. You killed him, you killed his core group of minions, except for one. There's some kind of druidic type orc who fled. And just as a reminder of who fled, guys, this was that charming character who fled.
Name was Varuk.
Varuk? That was his name?
Varuk was the one that fled.
Got it.
Vern?
Vern, yeah, exactly.
Vern.
It was, what's his name?
It was Vern.
What the fuck is the name of the actor who played what's his name?
Ernest.
Yeah, Ernest. Thank you. Anyway, you guys managed to defeat him and his allies. Let's take a look at that orc warlord picture again, just because it was so fucking cool. That's what he looked like, guys. And he was wielding a weapon that was a legacy weapon intended for your people, Oberon. In the vault, which you guys successfully infiltrated, you found a spectral dwarf named, what's his name here? Rangrim. And Rangrim pointed out some of the carvings on the wall. And in addition to the history of the giants, because it turns out this place seems to have been founded by, at one point at least, or at least it gives the history of the giants back in the time of the Age of Chains, when the giants basically secured the world against external threats through the use of some phenomenally powerful artifact called the Sundering Stone. During the period of the Sundering, your world was open to every other world and to all the horrors and perils that would slip through the cracks in the world. What the Sundering Stone did was secure your world. And that stone was set underneath something that became known as Overlook Fortress. Now, you guys, I think, have picked up in the interim. For those listening at home, we have done a bunch of email role-playing over the last 2 weeks to help flesh out some of this stuff. And what the heroes have learned is that Overlook Fortress, founded by the giants, has over time, over the millennia, multiple millennia that have passed, it has become the Dwarven Fortress, the Dwarven Fortress City of Overlook. And deep beneath that is the Sundering Stone, which seems to have cracked, because when Ember arrived, she handed Rangrim a piece of that stone. It was a fragment of blackened stone with flecks of orange in it. Now, you also saw on the wall, there was sort of crude depictions, not crude, I mean, it's stylized depictions of effectively your characters. And in the center of that was a woman with giant sweeping horns who appears to be a stylized Ember. And in one of her hands was a book, a giant tome, and in the other, a seal. And what we saw as audience members, but which the party did not see, is that Ember had secured a seal taken from the walls inside the vault and placed it in her bag without anyone else knowing.
I thought someone did see.
Sneaky.
No, I don't think anyone saw.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I mean, I don't remember. I'll have to go back and take a look, but I don't think anyone saw. I think you managed to do it, because the only person who conceivably may have seen it would have been Halen, who was distracted by that spear that he found, because it was calling to him in the voices of his dead wife and child. And Nute would have had a chance of hearing that, but Nute was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Nute had faded into the thing. So, let's see. What other stuff? I'm just going to go through here and quickly. Oh, yeah. And the other thing you guys noticed as well is when you looked at the orcs' weapons, you saw that they were not as crude as you would have thought. Orc steel is strong and functional, but not pretty. But these things were much more refined than you would typically expect from an orcish horde. They seem as if they had been maybe, because of the precision of the levels of the different things. You know, hey, kiddo, someone's awake. They seemed consistent, if not pretty, and marked on every one of them was a blackened arrow stamp. Now, do you guys remember where you saw that before?
The hobgoblins that attacked Where were we just at?
Rindle.
Rindle had those same manufactured weapons. Same with the ones that were in the crypt. So someone's arming a lot of the hordes and monsters around the area.
That is correct. Let's see here. What else did you find? You guys asked what the Sundering was. You asked Rangrim, and what he said was plainly, the Sundering is the breaking of the walls of this world, an unmooring of this place through its safe harbor, leaving it open to the chaos of the heavens and hells. He gestures to the walls that show a community of humanoids beset by stylized flames, waves, earthquakes, volcanoes, and demonic winged creatures. And to invasion, he continues, by those who would leave our home a sterile ruin. And then he gestures to a different wall, and you see a stylized flight of vicious dragons soaring above ornate clouds. Atop each of the dragons is a thin and sinister-looking humanoid figure holding a large sword above each of their heads, swords that looked identical to the one in Rakis's hand. Rangrim continues, it has been known that the Sundering would come again, for longer than when the giants ruled this land in the Age of Chains. It was the giants, our former masters, and he says that with disdain, who used their power and knowledge in time before reckoning to anchor the Sundering Stone where the walls of our world were weakest, and who built the Overlook fortress atop to keep watch over the stone and keep it and our world safe. But, he says, where his eyes were turning back to the black stone in Ember's hand, if the stone is failing, and if the dragons have already come to the Vale, we may be too late. So, let's hear, what else did you learn? James, you had asked about something called the Shadow Key, because he had made a comment about the Shadow Key. And when you asked about that, let's see here. Oh, someone asked about the dragons serving them, and what Rangrim had said was that orcs do not serve dragons. They do not serve anyone. That would be like trying to tame a river with stern commands. Nor do dragons serve orcs. Orcs are creatures of chaos made flesh, though there was one exception. One people who have tamed them. And he turns again briefly to the carving of the dragon riders. But, he says, if the maps to the Darklands are gone, which you had mentioned to him, how did you make your way to... he sort of trails off at that point. And then he asked, how did you make your way down here? Are there more orcs in the monastery? Did you slay the dragon? And you guys went back and forth a bit. And he made reference to something called the Jotengard defenses. Amber, you asked what the defenses were.
Mm-hmm.
And he had said, from your conversation with the councilman in Overlook, that those are the defenses, the ancient defenses designed by the giants to seal the roads leading through the Darklands. So if you can find those, you can prevent the orcish hordes from using those highways to get into the Elsir Vale. And I think that's where we left things off with that. Now, there was one other eventful thing that happened in between the sessions, guys. Who would like to talk about that?
Oh, geez. That's a long...
You probably know it the best, James.
Well, yeah, it's between me and Dave. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up.
Let's see here. I think that it is...
Oh, Kevin, there was that little detail. She had destroyed the letter.
Yes.
Because she used...
When did she destroy the letter?
On the boat. And then you sent me a message later on saying, "Oh, you were not supposed to do that." So because she didn't destroy it with fire, she's discovered it in her backpack again, her pack again, unblemished.
Perfect. Yep.
So unless she actually destroys it with fire, it's kind of indestructible.
Yep, that's absolutely correct. Because you tried, when you first got it, you tried to crumple it up and toss it away, and you found that it was perfect and flawless. blemish-free. Okay, one second. I'm just trying to find that chain of emails that I sent. Where the heck is it?
Title is called The Big Reveal.
Yeah, and I'm trying to. Yeah, there it is. I didn't. This is what happens when I don't follow up. You know, I have a running joke at work about trusting the system. Trust the system. If I need to remember where something is, I trust the system and trust that it's been diarized properly. I did not follow the system, however, in this case. So this is where it's not the system. Like I said to you guys before, problem between keyboard and chair. That is how to describe this shortcoming. Those skills will work.
Oh, the big reveal is not the big story chain.
It is. This is the summary of where everything stands. So,
okay.
So what we've had reveals of, guys, is on 3 major fronts. And this happened after quite a bit of role-playing and discussion back and forth between Dave's character, Jeff's character, and the rest of the party. So here's what... so do you want to do a summary here, James, of what you remember about this? So I'm looking at the email from April 30th as the one that has the big reveal that has all the information in it. There's a shit ton of emails that came afterwards, but that is the one that sort of contains all the relevant plot shit that has come out.
There we go. No. I had it just a second ago. Sorry, bear with me here.
Do you want me to just start going through it, James?
It bugs me because I had it literally a second ago.
That's totally fine. Such is the way that it goes. So
here it is.
Here's what. Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so on the sword, Ember's mother told Rakis the sword is special. Rakis from a place very far away, forged by grace
let's
and blessed by...
a moment here. So Dave's character, Rakis, had a dream. He's told all the party about this. He had a dream in which he met a woman, a Minotaur woman who was all white fur with blue eyes and a kind of golden halo around her. He had a couple of dreams about her. But most recently, he had a dream with her and a man who was dressed in a dull gray robe who was accompanied by 7 canaries, brilliant yellow chirping canaries. And in that dream, he learned that this woman, who he believes inhabits his sword, is actually someone named Emeria. And Emeria says that she is Ember's mother. Go ahead, James.
Okay, so the sword is special, Rakis, from a place very far away, forged by grace and blessed by light. It is one of the gifts I offer to your world, but would be a mistake to think it holds a destiny of its own, says the woman. It would be a mistake to think anything holds a destiny of their own, says the man with the canaries, as he pokes idly at the dirt before him with his staff. Without moving his head, his watery blue eyes look up to meet yours, shrouded with his wrinkled brow. Destiny is a word used by the ignorant or the cowardly to explain either what they do not know or to relieve them from the guilt that comes from the consequences of their action. The man with the canaries plants his staff as if to emphasize the point. Choice is all. Without choice, there is no good, there is no evil, or at least no meaning to them. If you do not choose good or evil, then what is the difference between the two? They are just states of being. They only have meaning when one has roads before them. He draws 2 lines in the dirt with his staff, and you make a choice to follow one or to remain at the crossroads. He plants his staff at the junction of the lines he drew and looks up at you with the look of a teacher who has just imparted a lesson. You stand silent for a moment, considering the old man's words, the sounds of the fire crackling in the background. Your sword, Rakis, my sword, will have a name for them. We call them shepherds, says the woman. They are more than weapons. They are an opportunity for salvation for the unrighteous, a last chance at grace. When an adversary is slain by the sword, its eternal soul is secured within. My People, return the shepherds to our masters, who offer their wayward spirits a way to redemption, before they are consigned to an eternity of slavery and torment in the pit, what would have otherwise been their destination. She continues, long ago an enemy infiltrated our army and stole thousands of the shepherds, the same evil that your brother has trained his life to combat. Due to a complication, we have been unable to act directly against the enemy, and since the time of the theft, these fiends have perverted these holy tools, using them to steal the souls of their victims, harvesting them using blasphemous magic, and turn them into their own murderous purposes. Quite the embarrassing situation, says the man with the canaries, as he moves his staff around in sweeping gestures, drawing something in the dirt. But a time approaches when this situation may change. And then there's on what happened before. Yes, well, said the man with the canaries, there are some things you need to know then, Rackus, if you are to be the bull of heaven. Come over here, he says, gesturing for you to join him. As you approach where he was sitting, you see that he has traced out a design in the earth in front of him, depicting a dragon with 6 heads. One arcs out to the left, and 5 others to the right. In the time before time, says the man with the canaries, there was a war between the gods and the titans. One of the skirmishes of the conflict involved a primordial horror known as the King of Terror and the god of dragons, Io. He gestures to the image before you. It is unknown how long the conflict lasted. Hours, days, centuries, who can say? What is known is that the stalemate was broken when the King of Terror raised his mighty axe, the size of a mountain. The man with the canaries raises his staff and struck O down with one savage stroke. The man with the canaries brings the staff down, purificating the drawing of the dragon. But the potency of O was such that from its ashes arose 2 new gods. He gestures at the half of the drawing with 1 head, Bahamut, Oathkeeper, Bringer of Law, and Bastion of the Weak. And the other, he gestures at the other half with 5 heads, Tiamat, the Goddess Queen, the unmade name, and the Mother of Dragons. The 2 newborn gods rose from the ashes of O's corpse and tore the King of Terror to pieces. The man with the canary sits back down. That was the last time they agreed on anything, other than to leave each other alone, lest the legacy of Io be lost forever. For a long moment, the man with the canary stares down at the ruined drawing, with only the sound of the crackling fire to be heard. Do you know what I find curious, says the man with the canaries. Everywhere I have traveled, mortals inevitably use coins as their currency. A gold piece has somehow materialized in his free hand. He turns the coin over, studying it. I suppose it is because of the ease with which they can be created, stored, and divided. But one consequence of it is that it seems to engender binary thinking. Either this way, he shows one side, or that, and turns to the other. But life always offers at least a third option. We need only think the flip of a coin to see it. Flips the coin to you. What neither Bahamut or Tiamat realizes, says the man with the canaries as he draws the outline of a teardrop beneath the dragon, was that they were not the only successors to Io. The man with the canaries sits back, a gentle smile on his face. They had a brother, born from a single scale. For aeons, he drifted in the cosmos, insensate and unknown to his siblings, until finally he was born to your world. Looking up at you, the man with the canary grins. I think you know his name. There is a long silence as you process this information, filled with only the crackling of the fire. What do you know about Tiamat? Asks Emeria. You shake your head, still in shock. She is chaos and rage embodied, says the man with the canaries, as are her children. They suffer no master, and yet the enemy, the unshackled, the Githgari,
Githyankai.
Githyankai, ride into battle astride ancient dragons. Do you think that not odd? Before you're able to reply, Emiria begins speaking. There is a lord of the abyss named Mephistopheles, who styles himself the Lord of Lies. When the Githyankai sought freedom from their inhuman masters, they turned to Lord of Lies in search of allies. To that end, using his unmatched cunning, the Lord of Lies tricked the Chaos Queen into something she would never have foreseen, an unbreakable contract by the very law of existence. In a place known as the Flawless City, there is a building known as Internal Court, says the man with the canaries. In the records of the court, there is a book with an endless number of pages known as the Tome of Eternal Concordance. When a contract to which the parties willingly enter is affixed to the tome and marked by an artifact known as the Seal of the Arbiter, it becomes binding forever. No one, no god or titan or primordial demon can escape the terms of such a contract unless both parties willingly terminate it. In their desperation, the Githyankai did not think to confirm the contract that bound Tiamat's children as the unshackled slaves, but it was not their name that appeared in the contract with Tiamat. It was that of the Lord of Lies, says Emiria. One of their numbered recognized it, corrected the man of the canaries, but his objections fell on deaf ears, and for his efforts to keep his people strong, well, that is a story for another time. For millennia, the Lord of Lies was satisfied to let the Githyankai use their dragon slaves to burn worlds, continues Emiria. But in recent years, the Lord of Lies has preyed on the Chaos Queen's frustrations, pouring poison promises into her many ears, and we believe she has agreed to an amend
their eternal contract.
Yeah. We do not know what terms the Lord of Lies has extracted from her, but we believe that the Lord of Lies plans to use his original plan come to fruition and have her agree to turn control over her children to him, to put at his command all the dragons on all the worlds across the vast cosmos. We cannot allow that to happen. Though, said the man with the canaries, it is not all bad. He looks up at you smiling, his eyes now silver. With Tiamat's children removed from their armies, I would be free to take action against those thieving necromancers and recover my swords. The problem, of course, is what to do with those dragons. If they return to their mother's fold, they simply swell her armies. If they serve under the Lord of Lies, well, that simply will not do. The birth of a baby brother has presented a third option. Another coin has appeared in his hand, and the man with the canary smiles at you impishly. Do you know how a god survives, Rakis? Said the man with the canaries. Before you can answer, he continues. I can see from your expression that you do not. A god survives on faith. It supports him, it empowers her, it is the totality of a god's existence. I mentioned that you mortals have the gift of choice, not only into what you do, but who you worship. Dragons, on the other hand, do not have that luxury. They are born full of devotion to the god that spawned their ancestors. But what of a god that lacks both power and worshippers? Would it even be able to spawn children strong enough to survive to pay homage to their parent? I could not think of a way to solve this problem, and it was not until Emiria came up with a solution, which now seems obvious. Master, starts Emiria before he cuts her off again. We cheat, says the man with the canaries, laughing at his own joke. But we do so by the law. Oops. Emiria continues. We believe that if presented with the choice between offering her children to a demon that tricked her once, or offering her children to a newborn sibling, she would elect to see them go to her newborn brother, so long as he took a stance of neutrality between herself and her brother, and so long as he maintained the peace of Io. But to do this, and to trick the Lord of Lies, we needed to discover how he planned to alter the contract, and then subvert his plan. I had long ago allowed the seal of the Arbiter to pass into the hands of the dwarves of Elsir Vale, said the man with the canaries. They, in turn, secured the seal in the vaults beneath the Monastery of the Chain, leaving it lost to history, at least until we let word slip that it was there. Sure enough, the Lord of Lies commenced one of his favorite tactics and proceeded to spawn a child who would be his agent in this matter. His plan, no doubt, was for his offspring to gain access to the monastery, recover the seal, and then bring it to the Flawless City. What he did not foresee was the birth of a new dragon god and the lengths to which we would go to subvert his plan. And on Ember's parentage. Ember, said Emiria, is my daughter. We knew that the Lord of Lies would try to act through his children, said the man with canaries, and then he would never suspect betrayal by his own progeny. He fancies himself too clever. I allowed Mephistopheles to think that he had seduced me, said Emiria, and after Ember was born, she was placed in an orphanage to make Mephistopheles think she was a source of shame to me. She turns to you, her eyes wet with emotion, but nothing could be further from the truth. We assume that the blood of the Lord of Lies would overrun any physical traits from her mother, but we hoped that her heart would remain as pure as Emiria's, says the man with the canaries. In that sense, she has exceeded our expectations. Who would have guessed that she would take a maternal interest in the safety of the newborn scion of Io? Despite her difficult early years, Ember has grown to be a moral woman, says Emiria. However, as expected, her father has returned and is trying to turn her to his own purposes. I am sure you can see that, can feel that. Ultimately, Rakis, as with all mortals, said the man with the canaries, this will come down to choice. It will come down to Ember's choice whether to embrace father's legacy, to support the plan for which her mother sacrificed so much, or forge her own path, wielding her power for herself. In summary, so in a much... Oh, this is yours.
I can do this if you want. So in a much less flowery way. First off, thank you very much for going through that, James. And welcome, Dave and Brent. We've done introductions for you guys at the outset. So in summary, and this is for the benefit of the listeners at home and for all of our players as well, in a much less flowery way, here's the deal with the man with the canaries and Emiria. There is a place called the Flawless City, in which there is a place called the Eternal Court, whose records include something called the Tome of Eternal Concordance. Contracts that are entered into the tome and marked by the seal of the Arbiter are binding on the parties to the contract so long as they both agree. Not even gods can break them. Currently, there is an agreement in the tome between Tiamat and Mephistopheles, again, Ember's papa, to supply an enormous number of ancient red dragons to serve the Githyn Kai. Remember, that's how the Lord of Lies fucked over both Tiamat and the Githyn Kai in the first place. Mephistopheles' plan is for Ember to substitute an agreement between him and Tiamat, which will turn control over the dragons to him. She would prefer that to continued service to the Githyn Kai, as the Githyn Kai just use them as war mounts or siege engines. On an unrelated note, Xavier, the other Corey's character, has been born, who is a brother to the two dragon gods, Tiamat and Bahamut, as the lost scale of Io. Now, just as an aside, I told you guys this in the opening scene of our campaign.
What did you tell us?
I told you this. In the opening scene of our campaign, it opened with the birth of Bahamut and Tiamat as the two gods. Remember, there was the puppet show. And at the end of the puppet show, the two things came apart, and we saw Xavier walk up and pick up a single scale that had fallen off of the Io puppet. So for you guys not to have seen this coming, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah, wake up.
Since dragons do not get to choose their gods, their blood is that of their own gods, they are born worshipping either Tiamat or Bahamut, depending on whether they're chromatic or metallic dragons. Since gods depend on their followers for power, this means that even though Xavier is technically a newborn god, he has no power. The man with the canaries' plan is for Tiamat to agree to turn those dragons that are in the control of the Githyn Kai right now over to the control and worship of Xavier instead of Mephistopheles, the Githyankai, or Tiamat. And to have Xavier agree to the same non-interference pact, the Peace of Io, that Tiamat and Bahamut already have. The man with the canaries gambles that Tiamat will prefer this to either a new contract with the Lord of Lies or to maintaining the existing one. To do this, you guys will need to contact Tiamat somehow to communicate this intention. And I've said likely through one of her elder children. The thing is, Mephistopheles needs to void that first contract, the one that gives control of the dragons to the Githyankai. Remember that both parties have to willingly terminate that contract. The tome does not let Tiamat simply walk away from that contract. Remember that contracts marked with the seal of the Arbiter and entered into the tome of eternal concordance are binding on even gods. Incidentally, Mephistopheles will know if Ember goes into the eternal court with another contract. So if you go in expecting to void the one contract and simply enter another one, Mephistopheles is likely clever enough to know that Ember has that on her. So you will need to find someone, an amazing thief I put down here, to break into the court where every god in the universe keeps its laws and agreements, and hide a copy of the new agreement between Bahamut and Tiamat somewhere in there. So the task will be to trick Mephistopheles to think that Ember's going along with him, so he will void the contract, the first one, but instead of entering the new contract between her dad, the Lord of Lies, and Tiamat, she will substitute it for one between Tiamat and Bahamut. This is, of course, assuming that Ember goes along with this plan. But if all goes according to plan, the Githyankai will lose their dragons, the armies of heaven will be free to storm the Githyankai fortress cities and recover the shepherds, a task for which Rakkus, as the Bull of Heaven, will be leading the charge. The Githyankai will be too weak or occupied to be able to invade the Elsir Vale. Mephistopheles will not get the army of dragons that he wants, and Xavier will be elevated to godhood along with his siblings, Bahamut and Tiamat. That's if everything goes according to plan. So simple, guys, right?
Oh, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't do it.
So one little bit of extra tidbit I put in is that I have assumed that you guys have held off, your characters have held off having a detailed conversation about this until you reached the vault under the Monastery of the Broken Chain. And the reason is because the vault itself, because it holds so many treasures and so many secret and powerful artifacts, it's actually sealed off from any kind of scrying magics. So this is a place is it Scott Pruitt's office with a fucking soundproof booth where you guys can have whatever conversation you want without fear of the Lord of Lies or the Chaos Queen or anyone else listening in. So, guys, one last tidbit. We had talked about how to communicate this information to Tiamat as well, the offer. And the thing I put out there was I had asked Jeff where he thought the souls of evil dragons went when they died. And he made a successful check for Oberon. When they, just like other kind of bullies, when they get hurt, they go screaming home to mama. So we find ourselves in the vault, guys. The diaphanous spectral form of Rangrim drifts before you. Those crazy carvings are on the wall. Well, I think you guys have a lot to discuss. So, however, we don't have a lot of time to do it, so let's start chatting. What do you guys think?
We tell our plan to the dragon, then kill her. And she'll go directly to Tiamat, and Tiamat will learn. Done. Message sent.
Okay. Part two. In order for Mephistopheles to void the contract, we need to offer him something that he will be interested in more than the dragons. So why don't we offer him Xavier, and then when he's voided the contract, we present him with a fake contract with a bunch of nonsense that he'll sign, righting the world and making us all super awesome. Ta-da!
No. I think what we might have to do is the wording of is if Ember enters the chamber with the contract, but if someone else has the contract, so we could get a contract from Mephistopheles, he'll probably contact Ember, giving her contract to replace. We can create our own document. Someone else could have it, and bring both contracts. Ember will carry her father's. Someone else will carry the one we really want, and then I guess do the switch that way.
And that's all well and good, but I
know it's not as flashy as yours.
Yeah, he really wasn't. All right. I guess somebody doesn't want to save the world. That's fine.
You guys really don't want to double down on trying to trick the Lord of Lies.
But the other thing that we need to do is we have to get him to void that contract too, right? So, I mean, swapping out the new contract is one thing, but we have to get him to agree to void the one that he's already signed.
Well, he has to at some point, anyways. That's why we bring the one fake contract and his, because he'll void it, and then because he has to void it before we can put the new one in place.
But so won't he read the new contract and realize it's shit?
Sorry?
He's gonna peruse the new contract before signing.
No, that's why Nute's going to sneak the actual contract that we're going to use into the thing, and we're going to swap it out.
That's assuming Nute's not going to betray us.
Yeah. Just as a point of procedure, guys, the contracts only have their binding effect when they are entered into the Tome of Concordance with the seal of the Arbiter. So that's why it's important. Like, Mephistopheles is not going to go and do it himself because there are other reasons why he doesn't want to appear in a place full of rules and laws and whatnot. You imagine he's likely not welcome there.
No.
But what you need to do is just once you get past those doors, it will be up to you, Ember, to go to first off gain access to the Tome of Concordance, which will be through whatever bureaucracy is running the Eternal Court, and then go in there and using the seal of the Arbiter, get the new one into the book, void the old, and then get the new one into the Tome of Concordance. But what the Man with the Canaries is hoping is that if you've got someone else who is in the Eternal Court, who can then pass that the correct contract to you, once that one goes in the book, it doesn't really. Once the first contract is voided, and once the replacement contract is put in, it doesn't matter whether he signed or whatever else or agreed to the other contract, so long as it's not entered into the Tome of Concordance. Does that make sense, guys?
Kind of.
Yeah, except to the part where we think we can trick the Lord of Lies.
Well, let me go through this one more time. So,
no, I get it. It just
here's the you can bring whatever contracts you want, agreements between anybody, into the Eternal Court, but they have absolutely no, magical or whatever else power until they're entered into the Tome of Concordance.
Mm-hmm. But it's still, I'm just saying, it still involves us. Basically, what we're trying to do is deceive the Lord of Lies.
Right. Yes, it's not you guys.
Epic.
Yeah. It's not technically. It's not you guys. It's Ember right now. Unless you guys are planning on trying to tell the Lord of Lies that you guys have all suddenly had a crisis of conscience and are now willing to do his plan.
Oh.
I'll leave that to Ember.
Ember's got to go in alone, is what Kevin is getting at.
No. I mean, you guys are free right now. Remember that Mephistopheles, your father, had effectively told you to not let anyone else know what you were doing.
Correct.
You were supposed to steal the seal of the Arbiter and then burn that letter and then see what the next instructions were. The Man with the Canaries has provided Rackus with an idea of where he thinks Mephistopheles' plan is going, but you don't know. You haven't heard from your father yet as to what the actual plan is.
So basically, now that I've got the seal I'll have to burn the letter now and see what the next step in his plan is.
And try and pretend like you've never heard it before.
I can do that.
Save some fortune points.
Oh, I did. I think I've got 3 right now.
So does that clear up things, Brent?
Yeah, I just, from Halen's perspective, this is, we're going up against, godlike people, and it's...
There's no like about it. It's God's full stop.
Okay, so sort of above their pay grade, extremely so. So he's just shocked. I don't know.
So here's
skeptical about our chances of success.
Knowing what Oberon and Halen have been raised for, guys. If you were to describe the purpose of your orders as we've established it, what do you think that is?
Stop the Gunthai or whatever their name is.
Yeah, stop the Githyanki. But
no, not Githyanki, Githyankai.
Githyankai. There you go.
Githyanki, the new worker.
Yeah.
I thought that was a D&D name for them, or am I getting it wrong?
No, go with what I'm saying, please. Not with that is the D&D name for it, but I really fucking hate the Githyanki. And these things share a lot of similarity to them. But if you expect to encounter the Githyanki, you're going to be unfortunately surprised.
Okay, so the Githyankai, we're supposed to. But there's one thing about being trained to fight Githyankai, and then one thing, going, hey, by the way, take on these gods. And so it's just a big thing to swallow for Halen.
Sure. So what do you make of what Rangrim said about the dragons being in the Vale already? He seemed to intimate that this was too late then.
Like, too late to stop the plan.
Well, too late to stop the Githyankai, because the thing is, stopping the Githyankai from invading your world is not the same thing as going through with the Man with the Canaries plan. The Man with the Canaries plan, if effected fast enough, may have the consequence of preventing the invasion, but that's just a side effect of that plan.
Right, but it's a good side effect, because if the Githyankai all of a sudden lose all their dragons...
Right, but what if they're already here, though? What if by pursuing the Man with the Canaries plan, you are not protecting the Elsir Vale, and that by winning the long war against the Githyankai, by robbing them of their dragons, you leave them free to destroy Overlook and the Elsir Vale?
If the Elsir Vale can't hold out, maybe they'll be demoralized, lose a lot of their troops, and not be able to go forward with it or retreat once the dragons go away.
That's why we have to destroy or close down the Dark Highway.
That's another thing that is a separate problem as well. What do you think, Oberon?
I think it's worth trying this plan. I don't know that our chances of success are very high, but...
Are they ever?
No.
Well...
But Oberon is definitely excited about him and Rakis leading the army into battle. That party's into.
I don't think that... Well, actually, Rakis, do you tell him that it's only you?
Would Rakis have known that?
Yeah, because Rakis, one of the visions you saw was you leading the armies of heaven. There was no one else beside you.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'm a one-man army?
No. But you were one of the only ones leading the army. No brother, no companions.
Oh, how excited is Oberon to lead this army?
It sounds pretty excited.
So, no, he does not get told that he's not.
He's nowhere to be found.
There's only mention of one bull of heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rakis just can't seem to muster enough courage to do that to his brother.
That's awesome. So, like in the movie scene, we see Oberon talk about this, leading the bolt of heaven, and then, in the background, we see Rackus sort of uncomfortably shifting his grip on his sword.
He's just staring at his hooves, kind of like, tottering back and forth.
Please do not.
Pawing the ground a little.
Yeah, I will be right back.
Okay. So, the reason I wanted to ask about Halen and Oberon is because I don't think this would be, if the dragons have come in here, your primary thing you trained your entire life to do, and what your existence of your order is to protect your world from these things.
But our order is reduced to 2 people.
Sorry?
But our standing army has been reduced to a strength of 2. So if we just stand and fight, in the sort of like the traditional.
Brent, I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying I don't think it would be as flippant of a decision. It wouldn't be as easy of a decision as you guys are making it sound, to say, all right, well, we'll just let the Elsir Vale burn, and then we'll go and do this, and it'll be all things will be better in the long run.
Well, no, I'm wondering if we can do this quick enough so that the dragons go away before the veil falls.
You mean the rest of the veil falls? The monastery has fallen already, right?
Right. Well, before it's completely lost, I wonder if we can pull this off. I think our best bet at defeating the armies in the Vale is if we deprive them of their dragons. And that should come as a shock to them. At the very least, demoralize them and deprive them of a bunch of firepower. And hopefully it'll just make them retreat outright.
Okay. So, Oberon, are you as comfortable just leaving the Vale to its own defenses while you do this other plan?
If you have a better idea, Oberon, I'm totally into it, but I don't know how 2 people can make a difference.
Is that what a hero would say?
Hero.
Remember, you guys just hit 7th level. You guys are on your master path now. This is the countdown to epic finale.
I mean,
right.
Two heroes might be able to stave off armies if those 2 heroes are Rackus and Oberon.
Let me ask you this. What 2 things, I mean, like, do you think it's nothing that you see on the walls stylized depictions of the 2 of you wielding the weapons that you have now found?
No, I mean...
But let me put in another thing in. Remember, the man with the canaries told Rackus that destiny bullshit. So I guess the thing to draw from this is, here's a bunch of information, but do not trust your DM.
Oh, we know.
Well, I mean, if you want someone to stay behind and defend the Vale, Rackus is more than happy to do it.
I mean, I guess, if you put it that way, I mean, I guess we probably would stay, or at least Oberon would stay here to fight. Like, yeah.
Put it another way. Here, is there anything, if we accompanied you to the land of...
Well, there's nothing for us to do on their mission.
Is there anything that we could do, or we just be sitting around in these worlds with our thumbs up our asses, waiting on Ember, waiting basically for Nute and Ember to do stuff?
Correct. We wouldn't have much to do, so.
Well, that's
Nute might require some people to help make a distraction or something like that. So if he's actually going to do something crazy like rob a divine temple.
It's even worse than a divine temple. It's effectively the law courts of heaven.
Yeah, that's going to require some distractions.
I will.
You just stroll in there like you own the place.
Bluff and bravado, eh?
Just
like a lawyer.
They will not question a confident man or tiefling.
Like I want you guys to make sure you understand. I'm not suggesting there's one way to do this. There is absolutely other ways, but I want you to be aware of what your characters would be thinking of.
Right, absolutely. And I'm agreeing with you that I think that you're right in the end. There's no place for Oberon on any of these missions other than to stay here and defend the Vale.
Well, let me ask you this as well, guys. How do you think you're going to access the flawless city?
By invitation?
No. What do the God Kids have to say?
What do you, sorry?
I said, what do the God Kids have to say? And by God Kid, I'm looking at you, Ember.
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, if we're if we're legitimately going to place another contract, then anybody can kind of present themselves as an emissary to do that. It's just they have somebody helping them pull the old switcheroo.
Well, maybe you could gain entry as a God Kid, and you have your #1 priest or servant, Nute.
Do you guys have any information as to how to access, let alone get to the flawless city?
I don't even know where it is.
Not.
Yeah, but if Ember's supposed to deliver the seal to her father, maybe that's the conduit there.
But we don't know. We don't know what's happening with the seal yet. I stole it. I have it in my possession. That's it. This is as far as
right. But I'm just saying, if you end up following the plan and give it to your dad, and your dad's like,
okay, part of the plan.
What was that?
We don't know if that's part of the plan.
But could it not be?
I don't know.
Oh, hey, I was just spitballing.
I know.
So what do we think of, what do you think is the immediate next thing you need to do?
Kill the dragon.
100% kill the dragon.
Ember needs to contact her pa. I need to find some alone time so I can communicate with him.
Well, if we're standing under my shield, he like if we get his attention, we attack him, and then we stand under my bastion's protective barrier. You should be able to communicate with them safely.
What?
Yeah, let's go ahead and click on your ability there, Jeff. Why don't we show everyone what we're talking
about? Is there an actual spell for it?
Yeah, it'll be under your abilities, not under the spell book.
Oh, wait, what? Under talents?
Yes.
Let's see it.
It should be listed under Bastion, and then there's the name of it.
Oh. Oh, it's... What? Oh, here. Okay, I found it.
Okay.
Holy crow. It's a small character sheet, and I'm looking in 1,000 places.
Why did you bring this particular ability up?
Why? What?
Why did
you up right now?
Why?
Because that might be a good way to fight a dragon.
Well, it's a shield that we can stand underneath. And
okay. I'm saying before we even approach the dragon.
Well, we attack him and get his attention, and then we stand under the shield so that he can't kill us. And then you can parlay with him all you want.
Sort of.
But prior to that, Ember needs to talk to her pa.
But I also point out that from your protective field description, no other creature can move through the barrier or make melee attacks with weapons against targets on the other side. But it says melee attacks. It doesn't say anything saying like long-range breath attacks or ranged attacks.
Oh, I see. You're scared.
I just say I don't think your shield prevents him from cooking us on the inside.
Amber uses his move action to do the chicken dance.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Well, why do you have to speak to your dad first?
We'll find out what the plan is. I need to know what the next step of his plan is before we figure out what our next step is and how we're going to thwart it.
Okay.
Because if it...
Tell him what to do.
Sorry?
Did you need Daddy to tell you what to do?
Well, if we're trying to figure out a way of countering his plan, it'd be kind of nice to know what we're countering against. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You also don't know what the man with the canaries has said, just to be clear, is not the omniscient DM telling you that. It's what the man with the canaries believes is true.
What's that?
That's what Mephistopheles' plan is.
True.
You actually don't know for certain what he actually wants. And given his moniker, is unlikely you ever will. So, first thing is kill the dragon. Then, what else is a priority right now, guys? You know that
kill the dragon, kill the dragon.
You know that the maps to the highways through the Darklands have been taken from the library in the Monastery of the Broken Chain, but I don't think you know where those have ended up. And you know that it appears that all of the dwarves who inhabited the Monastery of the Broken Chain are dead. But that the High Templar knows how to activate the Jotun Shield defenses, or Jotengard defenses, the things that seal off those highways. So right now, you know that there are defenses, but you don't know where they are, and you don't know how to activate them. You don't know whether the orcs have the maps, but if they do, the Elsir Vale is fucked, as millions of orcs will spill out into the lowlands, raise all of the Elsir Vale, and destroy Overlook. So knowing that they're wielding the same weapons that were wielded by the Horde of the Red Hand, it seems that someone is interested in seeing something armed with those weapons destroy the Elsir Vale. I wonder who.
Well, perhaps what we should do then is, I guess our priorities should be to deal with the dragon and to talk to the High Templar and figure out how to activate the defenses.
If the High Templar's alive.
If, then yeah.
Always the optimist. That's me. Okay. Anything else you guys wish to discuss while in safety?
If the High Templar is dead, is there like a res or talk to dead spell?
I'm looking for an email. There is someone else that we could talk to. Shit. There's a spirit in the mountains.
A spirit in the mountains?
Yes.
Wow. It almost seems, James, that carefully reading the emails sent by your DM will get you good information at the table. That's incredible.
I know, and I can't find it.
It was... Let me tell you what the...
What day?
Well, I'm just going to take a look at my... here. My things here. It was something that you guys overheard. Word in the pubs is what the...
yes, and that's the email I'm looking for.
The email is from April 8th. What it reads is, while Ember and Rackus were in Overlook, they did their due diligence and asked around about the Monastery of the Broken Chain. I say Sundered Chain in this, but I kept fucking it up. It's Broken Chain. Broken Chain, Ember through her scholarly contracts, and Rackus in the pubs. Apart from the information that I sent in the last email, you guys have also heard the story of Moged the Unworthy. Moged was a disciple studying at the monastery who was judged to be unworthy. Now, the stories are unclear whether it was the monks of the Broken Chain who deemed him unworthy, or Moradin, the god of the dwarves himself. Whatever the case was, the story goes that Moged would not easily be dissuaded from his task, so he attempted to continue his training and studies on his own in the untamed mountainous land surrounding the monastery. Nobody knows for sure what happened to Moged the Unworthy, but since he was never seen alive again, most believe he either fell prey to the creatures that hunt the Stonehome Mountains, or he died of starvation or exposure. What is known is that pilgrims to the monastery have reported seeing a lone dwarven knight mounted on a dull, black-furred ram in the peaks and valleys near the monastery, and the consensus opinion is that it is the unsettled wraith of Moged the Unworthy. Whoever the spectral knight is, it has not proven to be dangerous to either pilgrims or the monks themselves, but it is said that on days holy to Moradin, it can be seen gazing down at the monastery from the heights of the Hammer, the massive mountain that towers over the monastery of a broken chain. It is unknown what this revenant's mind is focused on, whether it is redemption or revenge, but it is clear that his spirit seeks something related to the monastery, or at least that's the story that you've heard.
And somewhere in the night, he found an ace that he could keep.
Yeah. Then he went down to Georgia and had a fiddle contest. And so that is the story that Ember relates to you all as well, too. There seems to be some kind of unsettled spirit lurking in the halls. No doubt after today's activities, many more spirits will join you.
So we can find the High Templar, hopefully he's alive, or trying to go into the mountains and hope we find a spirit. And then if we do find the spirit, hope that spirit is both friendly and then has the info we need.
You know what would probably be really helpful is if somebody had an ability to use any kind of necromantic or death magic or things like that.
Why? How would that help?
You don't think that speaking with spirits might be helpful?
Ah, bugger.
Oh, what are you talking about? You got plenty of corruption left, right? I think you got like one more until you turn into the art villain for the campaign.
Ooh, should we draw straws to see
I bet you guys didn't see that coming, did you? How's this campaign end? By James killing the rest of you and drinking your souls.
That's why, James, when you turn 8, you're supposed to take, or turn 7, you're supposed to take Cenobite as your master path.
I thought about that actually, and then two of you guys took it. So thankfully, that was not on my radar.
Wouldn't it be cool if the whole group was Cenobites?
No,
it wouldn't.
That would have been awesome.
None of you guys need it as much as I do.
No, you're really fucking tainted. Okay. Although that master path as a metagame thing, that master path serves as a living example of why it's dangerous to introduce shit into custom material without considering all the different things that are in there. With the number of abilities or things that I've introduced, that the consequence of using them is corruption. That master path is totally broken.
Yeah. I guess it gets rid of the corruption along the way, but once you got the master path, you can still gain corruption again.
No, but you get rid of it also.
Yeah,
can you
get rid of it on the fly?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's pretty crazy. So what I mean, the fact that like the balancing factor here would be that like things that you can willingly do that are active steps to gain more corruption, you just can't do anymore. So like Jeff couldn't answer the call of Bahamut anymore.
Right.
Or, and you couldn't access the Shadow Staff either.
Oh, that would be horrible.
That would be horrible. So, guys, boom. What do we got here? Oh, James, did you have any thoughts on that whole shadow key thing as well, too?
Oh, I don't. I didn't know what to do with that.
Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts on the shadow key? There was Rangrim, when he saw Ember holding that thing, he mentioned it or described it as a shadow key, and then said no, but something similar.
No, I thought maybe I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I thought maybe that I don't know. It could be used to open up the rift in the crypts. That rift in those crypts has got to be there for a reason.
Why don't you give me a Those of you who have... What's that, Brandon?
What about the machine in the crypts? The astrology thing.
Do you mean the... So I think James is talking about the crypts underneath the ruins of Rivenroar. But you're saying, Brent, the machinery that you passed in the vault?
Yeah.
The machinery... Sorry, you may have missed the email on this, but someone else had identified that as like an orrery of the planes. It's a very complex mechanical thing that tracks the passage and drift of the planes. It's almost as if they want to track for when certain conjunctions are strongest and the barriers between worlds is weakest.
Would it have maybe something to do with how to travel from world to world, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the effect of the Sundering Stone is to seal those things, or to make it, as close to impossible as can be achieved. But from experience that at least one rift has been torn open at that gate underneath Rivenroar, and it seems like one of the ways to help that along is to use something like the Shadow Staff, which was aligned with that world. It also may help anchors. It's not the same, obviously, thing directly, but the same principle of anchoring something makes it easier to pull in. Remember those Mynheers that were placed underneath the crypts of Rivenroar as well? The place where you fought Sinrith?
Right.
Well, you guys identified that those tall, black, glassy pillars were something not from your world. They were brought from elsewhere.
So I wonder what we could do to anchor or bridge the gap then to the Celestial Lockworts.
You know what might actually help is you do have, remember what an orrery is, or an orrery is kind of like a three-dimensional map. Right now, how much do you guys know about the actual layouts of the planes, of the heavens and hells beyond your knowing?
0.
Correct.
But we've got that orb.
You've got which orb?
My sphere.
You've got that technological sphere. Yeah, that thing can map out. Now that thing you keep looking at too. That's really weird because there's that strangely accented Elvish writing on it too. Brent, you want to share what you knew about the Shadow Elves?
Yeah, the simple version is long time ago, most of the elves left the world and went to the Feywild. Some, however, ended up to the plane of shadow. And after spending enough time, the elves in the Feywild were touched by the Fey and became connected to it, while the elves in the shadow became influenced by that plane. And I believe they gained the ability to shift their shape, much like the what were the names of that type of creature that we fought that were impersonating the women?
Doppelgangers.
The doppelgangers.
Yeah, Brent
Did
knows
I get that right from memory?
You did it, yeah. And Halen and Brent both know that doppelgangers are kind of a boogeyman that are used by elven parents to, scare truculent children into behaving. The doppelgangers are said to be immune to any kind of scrying magics. Their minds cannot be read. They cannot be detected as false people. They can appear as anyone, and when they die, they dissipate into a oily mist, leaving no sign behind. And legends that both the Halen's people and Newtay's people have kept is that the doppelgangers are agents of the Shadow Elves. There's been no contact with the Shadow Elves since the Sundering, when the elves went one way and the shadow elves went another way. But that's what you've known. They've always been sort of the boogeyman, as something that wants to destroy or just kill the or in some way disrupt the rest of the elves. And the thing is, looking at this sphere, neither of you, Halen or Nute, can recognize the accent and the it's not an accent, it's written, it's not an accent, but the certain flourishes and stuff like that in the Elvish writing is just not something you've ever seen on your plane. It's something very different.
I might have an incantation for this.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of incantations, remember those other incantations you guys got? All the ones relating to the technological magic? All of those were written in this same bizarre script. All in Elvish, but the lettering and the language looks very, very different, very weird, unlike anything you've ever seen.
All right. Well, let me try. I can find the damn thing. Oh, here we go. Shall we try the incantation?
Which incantation?
Translate anything.
I'll just click on it. Let's see.
Right.
Well, Brian, just so you're clear, like, you can already read this.
I thought you said I didn't understand what it was.
No. You can understand what it is. You don't understand the accent in it. It's like, imagine seeing
Oh, okay, I get it. I don't get the dialect. Like, it's a weird dialect.
Yeah, like the way that the words are written. Like, imagine a really hard to read font.
Okay, yeah.
The letters are still in a language you understand, and the words are still the same, but the inflection, the way that they order them, and the way that the words are written are just unlike anything you've ever seen.
Do I know? Is it anything that I recall from the history of my people, or anything like that? Or
well, that's why your mind goes to the Shadow Elves. You found these things in the crypts under Rivenroar, and there seemed to be a fairly strong link to the Shadowfell when you were there. Just based on those big Mynheers you found in the basement, and the script, or rather the staff that Ember found there. It seems like whoever Simon Villicus was, he seems to have made some kind of contact. And let's just refresh our memory here, guys, as to the vision you saw when you looked through that portal.
Mm-hmm.
So, giant. If you click on it, it should fill your screen pretty much.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So that is the thing you saw through there. Now, settlement in a plane of shadow. Your mind cannot help, I think, but go towards the Shadow Elves. The bane of your race.
Nute, what do you think? If we found these items in a place that's close to the shadow, and it's it's a type of Elvish that we don't understand or looks different, I don't think it would be too far to conclude that there's a good chance that it could be Shadow Elf writing.
Guys, what's the mark that you're finding on all of those weapons? The manufactured ones. The ones that the orcs have and the ones that the hobgoblins had.
It was...
Is it the red hand?
Nope.
No.
What was it, hammer?
Nope.
It was like initials. I can't remember what it was.
It wasn't initials. It was like an arrowhead or something.
Yes. What, do you remember what color the arrowhead was?
Black.
Yes.
The Black Arrow Gang.
Weak.
So what do you guys make of that?
It's not the symbol of the Githyanki or whatever.
The Githyanki, no.
Githyanki.
The Githyanki seem, if there is a symbol, I mean, there doesn't appear to be anything, but the symbols associated with them seem to be red dragons and silver swords, just like what Rakkus has.
Right. Okay. What about the Lord of Lies? Does he have any associated symbol?
He does, but it is not.
Hey, Kev, were there any black arrow symbols or anything like that near the portal in Rivenroar?
In Rivenroar, no, there was not. No, you did find black arrow symbols on those weapons you found in the crate, though. And I believe the crates themselves were marked with that symbol as well. The Lord of Lies, his mark would be a stylized quill and pen, or quill and paper.
This might be being a bit generic, but, you know, elves are known for their prowess archery. If the Shadow Elves adopted an arrowhead as a symbol, and we don't know where the hell these weapons are coming from, and there's a portal to the Shadow Plane, perhaps they're just manufacturing them off-world and shipping them in through the portal. Because they're bringing in a large quantity from somewhere of high marksmanship, so it would be really hard to hide.
But are elves known for mass-producing weapons?
No, they would have to have done it for a very long time, like if they were preparing for a long, long time.
Or could they have enslaved a race that's known for crafting?
Brent, are you suggesting that elves would nurse a hatred of some other thing long enough to craft weapons for centuries and centuries in the hopes of burning their allies to the ground, or their less fortunate kindred to the ground? Brent,
They've been known to hold grudges.
give me an intellect check, would you? You can add none of your skills, but I'll give you a boon on. You know what? I'll give you a boon for nomad. That's one of your professions, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, one from nomad, and then you can add your trickery to it as well.
Okay, and it now automatically adds that Cenobite thing?
Which thing?
What's it called?
Oh yes, the character sheet will automatically add that for you.
Oh yeah. So let's do an intellect. And that's 2 boons.
Oh, fantastic. Your spear sort of flashes for a moment, Halen, and you find yourself at possibly the worst moment of your life. It's when you returned from your pilgrimage to find your people gone, your home burned. Now you remember from before, you didn't find any of the bodies there. They were just gone, but it was clear from the evidence that you found that they did not go by choice. Amongst those ruins were massive burns, something phenomenally strong that tore apart some of their stone homes. There was one cast-off weapon that you found in the ruins that you chose not to take. It was so simple and so clearly not manufactured by your people. It was a short sword. And emblazoned near the hilt was a symbol. A black arrow. Your spear flashes and you are back in the vault.
Okay, I'll share with everyone that when my tribe was decimated, that I found a blade with a black arrowhead, but I never really made the connection until now, until the Shadow Elves and their hatred of the rest of their kindred and the rest of my people.
Why do they hate your people?
Actually, Kev, I can't remember. I know we got separated.
They got separate. Well, most of the elves in the Sundering, when they fled the world, they ended up in a realm of bounty and exotic magic and the Fae. That's where most elves ended up, and the connection that most elves made, because elves at their core are magical creatures. They're sort of like litmus paper. It'll suck up whatever it's exposed to. Now imagine what happens to those people when they are instead placed in an environment devoid of life, suffused with shadows and darkness and the undead. What do you suppose those people turn out like?
Angry and twisted.
Good face, James.
And they make ember faces.
So, getting back to the orrery, as you were asking about what that is again, but that's a map that tracks the passage of the various planes.
What?
So what I mean, I guess as a third opportunity in here, if we try and figure out how to close that portal, then we could maybe cut off the supply of weapons that the orcs are getting.
Well, the orcs are at the far end of the Elsir Vale. And the portal you guys are talking about is, across the Wormsmoke Mountains.
It could be that, I guess, that they have multiple portals.
That would seem most likely. Otherwise, what would... I mean, they could be very secretive, but they would have to smuggle weapons out of Rivenroar across the 3 days of wilderness that you guys passed through down to presumably Brindle, then downriver to Overlook, and then out of Overlook over Orgrin's Watch, and then down into Orc Country, all without being spotted.
Yeah, I guess it would make sense that they would have some other methods of transporting.
Well, if you're thinking the orrery it's an incredibly complex machine, and it seems that if you've got a key, you can open a portal, and it doesn't necessarily need to be the same one each time.
But I thought,
do you think the
orrery just
shadow might open something?
Sorry, guys, you were cutting out. There's some crosstalk there. Brent, what'd you say?
Remembering that we have a shadowy key, I wonder if that would open a shadowy portal.
And James, what were you saying?
This orrery thing, I thought it just tracks the planes. I didn't think it did anything else other than tracking.
The orrery itself does not, but if you guys want to get a sense of what the layout of the planes are like, that might be a way of doing that.
Now, what do you mean get a sense of what the plains are like?
Well,
Like,
Would it tell us like a location of where maybe the plains intersect, or are weakest between the barriers between the two, or
precisely.
Well, I think maybe our next stop is go back to the orrery.
Yeah, a lot of what I think our end game anyway very much involves plane hopping, at least for some of us. So, and it might also close some portals around here. So that sounds like a really good place to start.
Okay, so let's do a list quickly, guys, just so we got to clear in our heads of what are the things you need to do. Your things you need to address, I think, include. Who wants to start the list here?
Got to find a revenant,
or the high priest, right?
Okay.
So what do the two of those things gain you?
Information about information.
No. We can knowledge to activate the defenses.
Yes, the Jotengard, exactly. So those two things are just this routes to the same goal.
So
ways to access the Jotengard. Okay, so that's one. What else? Brent needs to complete the search for new lead for his pencil.
I just loaded it before the freaking.
It's because mechanical pencils work on the same principle of socks in a dryer, in that they disappear without any fucking, any idea as to where it's gone.
Interplanar travel.
Exactly. Yeah. There was an old cartoon that used to be on like Saturday, one of the like Saturday special things. It was a one-shot cartoon, just done in one story, and it was about how there was this whole separate like dimension where socks would disappear to, and that was just the MacGuffin to get the kids who found the portal to get through to it. I have yet to hear a more compelling explanation as to what the fuck happens to my socks. So to this day, at 41, I still believe that's what happens to my socks when I can't find them.
That's plausible.
Give me a more plausible theory, and I'm happy to consider it. But okay, so the Jotengard defenses, yeah, that's obviously a priority. What else is a priority?
Cut off the weapon supply from the Shadow Elves. Would you guys agree that's a priority?
But how do we achieve that?
By closing portals. So I guess that comes back to the planar maps.
Well, so how is different from the goal, though, right? I think Brent's correct that is a goal you guys have, and figuring out how to do that will be part of your plan. What else?
So cutting off supplies.
Kill the dragon. But we should do
that. Dave, you need to do that in a Elmer Fudd voice.
Kill the dragon. Kill the dragon.
Look, Rackus and Oberon will go kill the dragon. You guys go do some planar hopping and talk to your dad and do all these little sneaky things.
I got an orc to kill.
Minotaurs are not sneaky.
And the other key goal that we have is to figure out how the fuck do we move around the plains.
Yep. Accessing the flawless city would definitely be a advantage.
For the record, Rackus truly believes he is sneaky because he has tracking.
Oh yeah, no, we've established that. I thought Steve was fucking with me earlier because before we got on, Steve was asking about the professions. He's like, does anyone in our group have tracking?
Well, Steve, let me tell you.
It's a very useful skill.
It's just about anything, really.
Kev, I want to make some pancakes with potato chips in them. Does my tracking help me with that?
Yeah. Oberon points to Rackus' big schnee, and he's like, have you seen the nose on this guy?
It might not help with the pancakes, but it sure helps tracking down those ingredients.
Oh, he'll track it down.
Jesus. Bren, that's puns get you fucking cancer. That's terrible. Okay, so anything else?
I think those are the big 4 goals that I can think of.
Okay. All right. Then listen, guys, we are going to take a 2-minute break right now. I need to run to the washroom and close some drapes and get some more coffee. And then when we get back, we got a dragon encounter to go with. So I'll be back in 2 minutes here, guys.
I need every... Hey, Ember, you're immune to dragon fire, right?
Ember has left the building.
Roll. Let's do that.
Yeah, we'll just send Ember in to parlay.
She's like evil goddess, so you know. They're obviously immune to fire.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay, if you're doing like some speeder, feel free to yourself after.
We'll do. I might come back to that later. Is somebody whistling Kill the Wabbit?
I think potentially, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Did you hear back from the interview?
Gee, which one? I've been viewing now. And actually, I got a job with a catering company that starts next week. So,
hey, that's awesome, Steve. Congrats.
Congratulations.
yeah, just part time and sort of I do a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff. So, I'll do that for a while and see what happens next.
Sure.
Dave, what's your new gig doing?
I'm working out in Selkirk now. I took on a managerial role, so it is definitely different being on the other side of the minion manager equation.
The pay is good, but the responsibility is kind of having to rely on other people. Kind of sucks a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's worse too because you got kids as well, so it's not like you can just treat them like they're kids.
Well, you know, there are varying management styles. That's not necessarily the point, but
I joke with my assistant that I've got with non-compliant insureds because my clients are both the insurance companies and the people they insure. I have what I call my dad voice when I'm dealing with uncooperative insurance.
Speaking of minions, when Veronica was down here earlier, Kevin, she was pointing at, and you were just like, "Who's that?" It's like, "That's Kevin." It's like the minion? It's like, yes, like the
minion. I am pretty jaundiced, so yeah, she's not wrong about that.
What?
We're hanging out.
Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs. I gotta relocate.
Okay. So let's see here. I cannot see Jeff. Are you back?
Yeah, I was always here. My camera just isn't turned on.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Let's wait for James to relocate, and then we will figure out what you guys are going to do next. So what are we going to do next here, guys? Are you finally going to put a bow on this campaign and then try and fight a dragon?
We could do that. What do you guys, or we could go to the machine.
Well, I think we're in front of the dragon. Like,
I guess that's, most
The rest of this stuff sounds just too complicated. Let's just fight the dragon, die, and start the next campaign, and then
that Iron God sounds pretty fun. Let's just fucking kill our
like we got our Iron God characters ready.
If Kevin makes a campaign too complicated, we all commit suicide and start a new one.
This is really because I'm usually so slow in letting all this stuff come out. You guys have never been exposed to the full level of complexity that I write into these campaigns. So this may very well be, if you respond in this way, that may teach me to fucking simplify my campaigns a bit. Oh, that's funny. It really wasn't until I started typing the stuff out that I'm like, I'm 3 hours into typing. Jesus, that it really dawned on me just how many moving parts there were in this game.
The telenovela that is the campaign.
Seriously. Complete with dramatic pauses. All right. James, you've been... you're in your...
I've been relocated.
Exile, yeah. Looks nice, though. Worse places than to be exiled. Okay. So, guys, what are we doing next here? Also, remember, there is Rangrim, sorry, who is still drifting before you. If you have any further questions of this spectral guardian, he is there for your answering.
Has he been listening? I guess he's been listening to everything we had to say so far, right?
Yeah. And his face has remained inscrutable. You don't know what he's making of this.
Kevin, I was looking and I couldn't find any sort of useful necromancy or death spells. So I don't know what you were sort of referring to when we were talking about the Revenant.
I am only throwing out ideas, not plans.
No, it wasn't. Okay, whatever.
All right. Well, I'll ask our floaty friend what he thinks of our
sorry.
Our plan.
My fingers, menacingly, Brent. Sorry.
Always trying to get feedback from a neutral third party.
Did Kevin? Did Brent give you any ideas for what we're going to be facing this session?
I did not. No, none of you guys gave me any. There were no typos in any emails. No bullshit. The only thing I thought of was because it is May the 4th, and happy May the 4th, guys. May the 4th be with you. Was to try and incorporate some kind of Star Wars thing into it, but I decided not to do that.
What do you mean? The dragon does not now have a lightsaber as well?
Not on himself. Although now that you say that, good God, that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, isn't that a great idea?
Oh, yeah. We already fought a droid dragon, though.
Oh yeah, the basilisk, which nearly
that was pretty close.
Yeah, almost killed Pash.
Give us all lightsabers.
I think the response to that combat was my favorite response so far because it was effectively like, Jesus fuck. All right, so what are you guys doing?
Did we get any feedback, or if I present our plan?
He has nothing to offer. He has been in this basement for thousands and thousands of years, so not an awful lot to contribute.
All right.
I suggest we go back to the orrery and at least. I gotta find the map. I'm just wondering, would it be quicker to go back to the orrery, or should we do that sort of on the way back from killing the dragon?
To get to the orrery, you need to go up. Actually, you would need to run, kind of scamper across that platform that leaves you exposed to the dragon.
Okay, so we'll deal with the dragon first.
Does anyone have any experience or knowledge about dealing with dragons?
No.
No, it's a big lizard, isn't it?
Every dead dragon slayer says yes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's we see it as the mounts of our enemies, don't we? This is...
Yeah. What you know is they're unbelievably strong, uncannily fast, and and unearthly vicious. And they breathe fire, have incredible senses. Yeah.
So we need a different plan other than charge in and whack at it.
They also are devilishly brilliant as well. At least normally they are. They are also rarely unaccompanied, at least those in service to the enemy.
But they're also greedy as sin, though, right?
Those that are not subject to the contract with the Githyankai or relating to the Githyankai, then yeah, absolutely. On their own, certainly.
So I guess we should see if it's being controlled by Githyankai.
Yeah, definitely. Poke a head out. You want to do that?
Yoo-hoo, Githyankai.
Yeah. Your Cenobite protects you from Dragonfire, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's one of my immunities.
What are you gonna do, guys? Gonna head up, and then where do you? Well, tell you this: if you are gonna face a dragon, where do you intend on facing him? In that courtyard where you fought the orcs before? How are you gonna get it down to?
Yeah, like I mean, do we know if they breathe fire or not, Kev? Like, is that an?
Oh yeah. You had already tried to breathe fire in your last session, and a couple of you guys took damage.
Okay, yeah. So, I don't know how we're going to get it down to the ground.
Let's bring down the tower. We'll destroy the tower.
But it could still fly away. Like, we need to pin it somehow.
Yeah, but it would get his attention. I think he'd be very pissed if we did it and they'd come after us.
Yeah, but it can come after us in the air breathing fire. This is the problem.
Yeah, and then we're still screwed.
Can we hobble it?
Most of our group are melee fighters.
Right. We need to damage its wing or something.
We need to bring it down. Does anyone have any spells that would impair its movement or remove its ability to fly?
I've got my ranged dagger I can shoot with, but I don't have anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think my bow would help trying to impair its ability to fly.
Nope, mine either.
So if you can't bring it down to ground,
we got to go up to it.
Who can fly?
We climb up the tower. It's in the tower. It's got stairs.
Well, the tower would provide us with cover if it did breathe.
Guys, what was at the top of that tallest tower?
Princess with really long hair.
Rapunzel.
You better hope not. In Shadow of the Demon Lord, that will not be a good thing.
Well, and she'd probably be barbecued by now if she was a good thing.
Do you remember you spotted something when you were coming in? When you were sneaking in through that entrance behind the waterfall?
Well, there was some sort of platform or something that was strange thing built on the top.
That's true. And I said what it was again at the beginning of the session.
Catapult.
Oh, I missed that part.
I forgot about that.
I had a little imp whispering in my ear.
Yeah, fair enough. You remember seeing, when you were sneaking in, what looked like a crucified form.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that. That was a dwarf, unless that's the high priest.
Well, you're assuming it. You certainly couldn't see it. It seems like there was only dwarves in here, so you're assuming it's a dwarf, but you don't know for certain one way or the other. But that certainly was at the top of the tallest tower.
Well, that's worth checking out. I don't know how that's going to help us kill the dragon.
Yeah, but what if that's the high priest that you want to talk to?
Guys, where are you right now?
We're down in this little quiet room. The Cone of Silence.
Right, and what else is in there? Remember my description of this room from last week or 2 weeks ago?
A bunch of books?
Nope.
Oh. Then no, I don't remember.
Anybody?
There's lots of shelves. There's the golem.
What's on the shelves? You can just go through the inventory of what you've taken so far.
Treasure.
This is a vault to keep treasures deemed unsafe for the wider world secure.
Oh, so we should just actually.
Well, I mean, if you guys thought that this entire vault would be here for one hammer, one spear, and one steel.
Yeah.
So,
all right. What else is there in here?
That's a good point. Let's sort through our other optional implements here.
So, if you go to, you can look, but Rangrim seems a little perturbed if you try and take anything. Do you ask anything of him?
Well, let's ask him if he has anything to help take down a dragon.
Yeah, we have to kill a dragon. Is there anything here that would help with that?
He looks at your spear. You mean apart from that, and at your hammer, or that?
Well, something that would get it close enough that we could hit it with these weapons, and that will prevent it from flying off or staying out of range. We have to get close enough to hit it.
Well, those are two different things, my young elf. Bringing it down and getting close enough to hit it. Which of them are you more concerned with?
Both.
You cannot address both. Which of the two concerns you?
Do you want to get close to it, or do you want to bring it down? If you bring it down, it gets down to our level. If we get close to it, he's suggesting like we're flying or something like that.
Or it could fly away.
Yeah, we need to bring it down.
I guess no. The most important thing would be to get close to it, because if we're not close to it, we can't hit the damn thing. We can't hit the damn thing. We can't kill it. So being close is the most important thing.
Okay. Perhaps he goes behind him and he finds a board, like a playing board, some kind of board game. He takes 5 things off of it and turns towards you and places them down. Tonk, 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 tonk. And these are, of course, stylized things. But this is what the creatures, all identical, look like.
Griffins.
Nice.
Would these suffice? These are just like plain pieces.
Well, sort of.
If we had big live ones.
Look at Ember, because to me, he just gave us little playing pieces that I'm sure they're magic of some sort. I just don't get it. Ember?
I will look at it, see if they are magical.
They are. Absolutely.
Then yes, they will do nicely.
How do we use them?
Yes, what do they do?
They require life to have life.
They require life.
Uh-oh.
So if you look at them, you notice one thing. Their beaks are quite sharp.
Ember's going to pick one up and kind of try to cut her hand with the beak.
No, we stab an orc with them.
You do so, and this giant griffin appears in the middle of your room. You guys all sort of like, whoa, so back, and its wings sort of beat out, and some of the thing on the shelf sort of like rattle and fall down. You guys all grip your weapons tightly with this massive fusion of eagle and lion. After looking around, fixes its eyes on Ember, flaps its wings, comes forward, and rubs its beak up against you.
I have a pet. So we know how to activate them, and I will. Ember strokes his neck.
It looks at you, and you know that you can give it a mental command to go away. Yeah, you take 1 point of damage into Ember.
Excellent.
So if you want it to go away, it'll go back to normal.
Ow.
So there are 4 more of those pieces sitting before you guys. What do you want to do?
Nice.
Well, I guess that's how we get close to a dragon.
We're gonna have aerial combat.
Gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Oberon picks one up.
Okay.
Sure, I'll do the same.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Rakis?
Rax, well,
Come on, Cowman.
oh, is there still one left?
Yeah.
He stuck one in front of each of us.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Let's rename these guys. I've got a bunch of critters set in the toolbar for you, and each of them is right now listed as copy of Griffin. Let me just edit these to give you whose they are. So Ember picked one up first. So Ember Griffin, boom, is there. Next. Who's the second person, guys? Doesn't really matter. I'm going to put down Halen. There you go, Halen Griffin. And Nutballs. Okay. Boom. There you go. And for the Cowman.
Yeah, I think Oberon took one first.
Yep.
And then
Those
Rakus,
griffins are just images. They're not tokens or anything.
Yes, they're not tokens, but they are full character sheets.
No, I clicked on them and there's nothing.
Yeah, I'm
There's
just getting a picture too.
Bio info. There's no other tabs.
The buttons. I will go in a moment, make sure that you guys can all have access to them. So I don't. Maybe that's what happens. I thought that oh no, it's in. Oh, it cannot be edited and controlled. That's why. Hold up here. Hold up here. All players. So the final one is Rakis's. And Rakis, yours will be the first one. Okay, you'll be able to see the full stats for it. So Rakis, boom, you got yourself a Griffin.
no.
Ember. While I'm doing this, you guys can feel free to plan what you're specifically going to do then. How are you going to do this?
Well, guys.
Well, I still think maybe if we can sneak into that tower, it'd be useful to find who's being crucified, and then maybe we can sneak attack the dragon. It wouldn't expect flying opponents to appear out of a tower. Just a theory, but
Well, I mean, we could also try to attack it from different vantage points and kind of keep it a little off balance, so to speak.
Okay, so everybody has a Griffin now.
Awesome. Rakus looks at his and asks, "Why does mine look so small?"
It gets bigger.
So, what do you guys want to do then? What are we doing here, guys?
Let's head out there and charge at this thing. Come on, you wimps.
So is everyone going to hop on a griffin and charge directly at this dragon?
What if we try and sneak up on it and give us a hedge our bets with?
You sneak up on it, me and Rakus will ride down upon this beast.
Why don't, while we are engaging the dragon, Nute sneak up into the tower, maybe try to free that crucified dwarf and see if there's anything else up there?
Because I think we need all of us together. I think maybe we should do that first, but we should definitely all engage the dragon as a group, not just a few people engage the dragon.
How about this? Oberon and I will draw the dragon's fire, and you guys keep pelting it from whatever vantage point opens up from that.
Sure. We could try a sneak attack from coming up from above. We could try to fly high above it and then all dive bomb it. Get a free attack.
Sure.
Yeah. Because what if we went to the tower, saw the crucified dude, then leaped out of the tower on the back of the griffins and swooped down at the dragon?
Isn't he in the tower? No?
In the tower, at the base of the tower. Kev, where did we leave him? Or see him?
Where'd you leave whom?
The dragon. In the tower, at the base of the tower.
Well, the last time you saw him, remember, guys, was when it swooped past you and burned that platform. And it seemed to know, like, the second that you were making a run to try and get out of there.
I think it's following us and looking for us at this point. If you guys want to try and sneak first, go for it. But just go for it. Let's do it.
You guys were unsuccessful last time when you tried to sneak past it, but I mean, you can try again.
So, is there anything that we can do to improve our chances of success other than just charging at it?
Well, I mean, your DM likes peanut butter and chocolate.
Bribes are accepted.
Roger, accepted. Absolutely.
Do you have any AoEs, James, that we should hold back till you fire off first?
James has a lot of fire-based spells against a red dragon. So
I've also got some destruction spells that you guys probably all want to stay away from me.
Sorry, you are the AoE around the dragon.
No, me.
Oh, okay.
If I'm going to cast destruction spells, I will not be riding the griffin.
So you're
right. So how does that work? So if you got some badass destruction spells to take out the dragon or hurt it, how close do you need to be, and
long range?
How far away do we need to be from you?
Long range.
So you can just position yourself somewhere with a line of sight and you're good.
Yeah. I could go one of the other towers. I could go to the top of one of the other towers. Yes, no?
That could work.
What do you guys think? I'm going to give you another 2 minutes to talk. Then we're...
Go for it.
Then whoever wants to leap into action, you can leap into action.
Yeah. So what? James is going to hit it with some kind of a big spell, and as soon as that spell hits, we're all going to swoop in and attack him.
Is that how your spells work, James?
Well, no, I'm a glass cannon, so I'll be blasting spells from the tower top.
Okay.
And we could be attacking the dragon in melee, or there's no like
in the air. You guys could be fighting in the air on the griffins.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure there's going to be no splashback or AoE damage to us from your spells.
No, this is a single target.
Okay.
Then let's roll.
So guys, describe for me remember how this works. For you to get outside, you'll need to go to the second, up the staircase to get to that first floor of the tower where that giant golem, the dwarf-shaped golem, is protecting or guarding the place. And then you'll have to go up one more level to the second level of the monastery. And then from there, you'll go outside onto the platform. When you get to that second floor, You can hear the beating of its mighty wings and the call, which your DM is doing very poor job of making it sound. I thought I downloaded a what's this here? That's Dungeon Fight, not Dragon Flight. I'm just wishfully interpreting something. Where is Dragon Call? Darn it. I had an awesome, in one of our games, I have a fantastic dragon screech sound, but I don't know where the fuck I put it.
I'm going to buff up before we hit the fight.
Okay.
I'm going to cast an incantation of Oak Hide and stuff an incantation of Overcome Affliction into my belt so I can get at it if I need to be.
That's made out of lovely flammable paper, right?
Yeah.
I asked for a friend.
I'll tuck inside my shirt.
How long does Oak Hide last?
1 hour.
1 hour. Nice. Okay. All right.
I'm refreshing my arcane armor.
Beautiful. Okay. And Halen, mark down the number of incantations you have by 1.
Okay. Done.
And so you guys are there, and you can hear that. What's the plan here, guys? Who is going out first? We'll do this in a turn-by-turn basis because I'm a sick bastard. Who wants to take the first action? Assume that it is a free action to activate your griffin, and then a move to hop on its back. But the griffin will make a move action on its own, so you can leap out from the out onto the balcony and out into the air as a first action.
So just to confirm then, when we're fighting on the backs, because the griffin's moving and we're not, that would mean we can always take quick actions to attack, and then the griffins have a quick action to move?
No, they will take actions on your turn. And now I don't remember the rules for mounts for Shadow of the Demon Lord, but they'll effectively take the same turn you take, which means that they will take a move action. Their action on the quick turn will be to move. If you choose to control it, then it will be. I mean, like, we're not doing a tactical movement for this anyway. We're using abstracted rules, so I don't think it matters quite as much where specifically you're positioning yourself. But
no, I was just wondering if, like, you know, how with a fast turn you can attack or move, not both. But could we take a fast turn, it move, and I attack? Yeah,
you don't need to worry about it chewing up your action just to control the thing. I'm assuming for this point, you guys are super, epic heroes at this point, so we don't need to worry about you keeping your hands in the reins. Okay. So
Oberon asks if everyone's ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Born ready.
Good enough for me. Oberon takes a big breath of his cigar. And he throws it down on the ground. Puts it out. Casts battle prowess.
Whoa.
And rushes out and jumps on his griffin.
Okay, awesome. So as you do that, actually, Jeff, since you're the first brave soul to go out, why don't you roll me a d6 here? This will determine whether or not Virfaxis, this ancient red dragon, was ready for you or not. A 1? Do you really
ancient red dragon?
think a 1 would be good enough?
I don't know. I don't know if I was trying to roll high or low. It's hard to know.
It's almost as if the DM is trying to keep you in the dark about it.
I think a 1 is either exceptionally good or the worst possible roll.
That is true. So then the next question is, who is it exceptional? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's fine. It actually is on a overwing as you leap out. Now, I know you guys want to see what the map looks like, so let's show you the map. You guys ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. There you are, guys. Everybody has their griffin and their griffin token.
Nice.
Y'all see that?
No.
Yep.
Oh,
There we go. Yep.
Goes to the dark area.
It will track your characters. Oh, hold on. I'm going to switch the light. This is, you guys will be able to see everything here. So let me just quickly change the ambient lighting on this. Let's see here. Global illumination. There we go. So you guys won't be able to see inside. There you go. Can you see the map? Everybody can see the map clearly now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Have I mentioned how much I love Roll20? Holy smokes. Okay. Oops. Amber, you moved your Griffin. What are you doing?
I'm standing on the tower.
Okay.
I'm standing on top of the tower.
Guys, let's don't worry about marking your Griffins. Just mark yourselves whether you're doing a fast or slow turn. I'm picturing all of you guys have leapt into the air, except for Amber, who appears to be. You have not left the platform yet. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
So you have not summoned your Griffin yet. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm just going to put you actually, James, just over here because this is where that's where the balcony is.
Okay.
Okay. So all right, let's see here.
Kev, to be clear, if I'm going to move and attack, is it a quick action or a slow action because of the Griffin?
Sorry, say again.
Well, because we're riding the Griffin, like if I wanted to move towards the dragon and attack him, do I take a slow turn or a fast turn?
You take a you can do a quick turn because the Griffin will move for you.
Okay, and
That's
I will.
its
I
action.
see. Okay, yeah. Okay, then I'm taking a quick turn.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome, everyone's all right. So heroes are up first, but Faxus is a boss, which means I get to roll for extra actions for it. Oh, that was the good. Yeah, that's not a good thing. So, actually, my camera is chugging a little bit. I'm just going to refresh Roll20 to try and speed things up here. So give me a sec here, guys. See if actually, I might need to shut down Roll20 altogether and then restart. But remember, we had this problem. Yeah, we had this problem about 2 hours in with the last session too.
The whole call is freezing.
Oh, is it? Roll20 is.
Or maybe just your Roll20. Yeah, it could just be your Roll20.
Turn it up. Yeah. Okay, so you know what, guys? I'm actually going to close down my Roll20, I think, and then what I had to do to fix it last time. Sorry, guys. My whole season up right now. I don't You guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, but it's not too bad.
Yeah. I mean, okay, hold up. I'm going to fucking hell, sorry though. Can you hear me now, guys? I can hear somebody.
Yep, can hear you.
Okay, so you guys feel free to chat so we don't have dead air here right now.
So this is an ancient red dragon. They're pretty hard to fight.
That's why I come up with a very complicated and subtle. Fuck! I just spilled beer on a book. That's why we come up with the awesome plan of charging in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, did you have any strategies for fighting red dragons? Oh.
Yeah.
Nuke it from orbit.
That's the only way to be sure.
Right.
Get
I mean,
her.
if we don't have any strategy, then this plan's as good as any.
I suppose, yeah.
Good.
What do you guys
So
planning
do
on
dragons
taking?
have souls?
Who's going first? Do you guys care who goes first?
I thought Oberon had already claimed that.
Oh, it
Well,
doesn't.
he's the first out the door. We all followed, and now
Well, I thought you were casting a spell, and then we were charging them after your big spell went off. But whatever.
no, I can do that.
Either way.
Then I will do that right now. As a triggered reaction, going to anticipate opening. That'll give me 1 boon. And then I'm going to disintegrate it.
Come on, one shot it.
Yeah. Hole in one. Nice.
And each creature and object in 5 yards other than you take 6 damage. That's why you guys gotta stay away from me when I'm casting destruction spells.
Yeah, that's exactly the plan we were doing.
Oh, there's a few ones in there. Blah.
Hello, all. I'm back.
Nice.
So I don't know what was going on there. Hold on. I've got to get back into Roll20. I don't know what happens on my what do you call it? On my Friday nights here, but it's a weird spike like 2 hours into the phone or to the call where it suddenly starts chewing up a shit ton of processes. And I'm looking at my task manager here and there's nothing there. Like there's no
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know what the hell is causing that problem. But anyway, so I'm back. Let me get back into Roll20, and then I'm going to try my best to kill you with a dragon. Because that sounds like a fun way to spend a Friday night, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You guys thought you were playing through, Star Wars A New Hope, but we're really playing through Rogue One. So I'm sure things will end well for you guys.
Totally.
At the end, I plan on having a really creepy CG version of another hero who will start in our next campaign. All right, so I see our map of. There we go. Here's our heroes. Which you guys. Wait, you're not dead yet. What the hell?
The dragon should
Working
be
on it.
dead. I disintegrated it.
No. I believe where we last left things was me rolling, and I'll make sure you guys are seeing this in crystal clear HD on this thing. That's what I rolled to determine the dragon's actions. So let's just.
It looked like a 0. It's too blurry. It looks like a 0.
Yeah, let me make sure you see it clear. Crystal clear there. Oh, there we go. Come on, camera.
To be fair, you're not showing up, Kev. I see shit. You got just black screen.
Here.
Like 0 or negative or something.
That is an interesting strategy. It will not succeed. There we go. So let me get to share screens here. Oh, my camera's all screwed up now.
That was Roman numeral for 0.
Yeah, really. Okay, so there we go. Let's go back to the call. There we go. Present to everyone. Turn my camera off. Boom. Go into Roll20 and refresh. All right, so here, Faxus, the ancient red dragon, has. Now, normally, again, guys, you may remember from fighting such enemies as Sinrith and Simon Villicus that bosses get multiple actions, and bosses, unlike other heroes, can interrupt, or other villains can interrupt our heroes, which this dragon will do. Now, the first thing I need you guys all to do, though, I will give you an opportunity to take one action to start with, and that action is to make a will challenge with 2 boons or 2 banes, please. Because this Virfaxis exudes magical fear.
So it's a will roll?
Will roll with 2 banes, please.
So magic, that's that thing that elves are resistant to?
They're resistant to spells, no. So this is not something you would be able to resist.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, bro? Why not? Sure, I'll throw it in there for.
All right.
I
feel tricky like a rogue too when I'm resisting.
I will use my psychic defense.
Remember, if you're using your trickery, it means you can. You can use it twice in a round.
That's high level.
Spend one of my psychic points to cancel 1 bane.
Nice. I love when you make use of your abilities. It makes me feel less guilty when I kill you.
Is this an attack, Kevin?
This is not.
No. All right.
Kev.
Don't worry, James. That's coming soon.
-1.
Arrakis calls out Rakbur's name.
Oh, nice. That gives you what, a boon on something?
Yeah, on any will.
Oh, sweet. Yep. So go ahead and take that. Whoa, Halen, holy shit. So Amber, you take. Oh God, I think it's 1. You take 1 insanity, and what's your insanity total now? Ooh, and Arrakis. You'll also gain an insanity.
Oh, I got 3 insanity.
That means 3 insanity now, or you had 3 insanity from before?
I had 3.
You had 3, you have 4 now. That means for 4 rounds, you're going to get 1 bane on all your actions. Arrakis, what's your new insanity total?
5.
So for 5 rounds, you're getting 1 bane on all your rolls.
Is that
you are terrified.
Is that a particular affliction?
What do you mean? No, it's not an affliction. It's just, you're frightened.
I'm frightened. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Actually, yeah, you can click on this. Right, I forgot the character sheet has that. Dave, you want to save yourself the worry of tracking that? Just click on frightened on the main sheet.
You just
that was what happened
how many
before.
rounds.
What's that?
So you just have to keep track of how many rounds.
That's right. So you have.
Well, now I understand why everyone would charge into the dragon. Everyone's insane.
Exactly. So now the dragon, it gets to go. So it wheels around. It sees these tiny, tasty-looking griffin soaring through the air. And it wheels around on the side. And that's when you see it, guys. Near the base of its neck, there is a saddle. And on that saddle is a gaunt, gray-skinned humanoid figure with yellowed eyes and an enormous silver sword in its hands.
Githyankai! Yay!
This wheels around, and because the Githyankai is also a boss, let's see how many actions he has. Oh, less than the dragon. So the Githyankai will go first. He sees you guys. He calls out in a language that only Oberon and Halen understand. Guys, the Githyankai speak the old tongue. What he says is die. And I think, let's see, who are we going to target? It's either going to be Oberon or Halen. Halen, tell me, evens or odds?
I've always been a bit odd, so...
It's a good call, because it means he's targeting Oberon. Oberon, let's see here. He going to lash out with a bolt at you. And so here we go. Yeah, he gestures with his sword, and from the end of his sword, this screaming spirit made of, like, if you think of like the Dementors from Harry Potter, that's effectively what comes screaming towards you. Let's see if he hits. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, 24, I take it hits?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so you take right. You take 18 points of damage as this thing explodes around you and tears through you. It seems to like as soon as it passes through you, it just dissipates into tatters and mist. And then it is Virfaxis's turn. That is going to be a weird thing to say. So Virfaxis wheels around and it opens its giant maw and this gout of flame spews out, targeting Halen and Nute. You guys are together. And let's see here. I need you each to make a agility challenge roll with 2 Banes, please. Kindly do the same for your Griffins as well.
All right. Well, I'll use trickery anyway.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I don't want to roll.
Kevin,
Yes, sir.
how many triggered actions can you do on a turn?
1.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Nute. How about for your Griffin, Nute?
How many Banes, Kev?
2 Banes, please.
Okay, so,
Oh.
He's no good.
Well, good, no.
Let's. Oh.
Fortunately, I didn't roll a huge amount for damage. Okay, so Halen, you succeeded. How about your Griffin?
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, too late to pick dodge.
Yeah. What does dodge do?
Hey!
Dodge gives me a boon
Oh,
against effects,
shit.
and it gives him a bane to hit me. But
Yeah, you got to call that before the rolls are made.
I got to reroll. I forgot to put the.
Well, so this is not an attack roll. This is something. It just hits an area, and then you guys take damage from it. So.
Yeah, I forgot to put the Banes on the Griffin's roll. Hold on.
Well, Brian, if the Griffin rolled 22, that's fine. The most you would have taken away from it would have been 6, which is still a success. So both you and the Griffin succeeded, and you guys took 9 points of damage as opposed to 19. But you guys are caught in the furious tempest. Let me make you a little bigger there, Brent, so it's easier to see for Jeff how fucked up you are.
All right.
It's good to have you.
Shit.
Okay, so that is Virfaxis's first turn. Now, Virfaxis still has several other actions here, guys. But do you really think I'm the kind of DM who would be such a dick as to take a second action right after the first one?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, you're right. So Virfaxis wheels around, and thankfully, it only gets to make 1 breath weapon attack per round, but that will not stop it from trying to bite. Oh, it attacks twice with its claws and 1 with its bite. So Oberon and Rackus, it wheels towards you guys. And I think I'll do 2 claws against Rackus and a bite against Oberon. So let's see how this goes. Rackus. Oof. Any Banes I'm imposing on my attack?
None that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. I rolled a 13, which I think is a miss.
Sorry?
Right? 13?
Uh,
Is your defense? I think that's a miss.
Give me a second here. It's
Oh, wait. No, that's a 20.
defense is 20.
Oh, so it just barely managed to hit you with 1 claw, and then it certainly hits you with another one, too. So these 2 huge claws, batter against you. You take 5 from the first one and 7 from the second one. So 12 points of damage in total against you. And then its head, the massive jaws open and try and chomp down on you, Oberon. Let's see here. Yeah, that's like a 30-something. So I take it that hits. Oberon. you take 8 points of regular damage and then 1 more point of fire damage. I don't think you're resistant to fire anyway, right?
Nope.
No. Okay, so that is 9 points of damage in total. As it hits you, chomps, and you're able to knock it away, so it continues wheeling behind you guys. And over here. All right, so let's see here.
This thing's going to kill us before we even take an action.
Well, I think it's going to hold until the next action. It would like to... There's a tasty little tiefling down there. So, you guys, who wants to take an action?
I'll go first.
Well, sorry. I swear my oath of vengeance, by the way, when it on the dragon when it does damage to us.
What is the oath of vengeance a triggered action?
Yes. When a creature I see deals damage to me or another creature, I can use a triggered action to swear a vow of vengeance against the triggering
Awesome.
creature.
Okay, so why don't you click on that and let everyone know what it does?
All right.
This is where you yell, fuck you.
So I assume we're going for the dragon first.
I thought we'd go for the rider. Because the rider is controlling it.
Is it?
Remember what you learned about the relationship between the Githyankai and the dragons.
It was, just to clarify, right? It was a pact where they're bound to service.
Right, but I'm saying, like, one of the reasons why Tiamat one of the things we had mentioned before, one of the reasons why Tiamat may want to give them up is because the Githyankai only use them as war mounts and siege engines.
Right, they're being mistreated, basically.
Yeah, they're just a resource they use. It's another tool in their arsenal. So
maybe to run away if we kill the rider.
So what are you guys going to do?
Kill the rider.
Let's do it.
I mean, I meant specific your action this turn. Steve, you were saying?
Sorry, I guess the vow of vengeance is against the rider then.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it becomes marked for 1 minute. All right, so what are you going to do now?
I will cast as a triggered. Give me 1 boon, which will cancel out my Bane.
Read the trigger.
Oops.
Yep.
That was the wrong spell.
That's okay.
Oh, fucker.
I am a fucker. That is true. It's in my type.
Oh,
Humanoid?
There we go. Anticipate opening. That's what I was doing.
Okay.
And then cast in Disintegrate at the rider. And it should be 0.
No, you have 2 Banes on that roll. Because it resists magic.
I believe the Bane is...
Well, Bane is from Frightening, so you need to roll 2 more. Let's see if you roll roll for your Bane.
Do I have 3 Banes or 2 Banes total?
You roll a 6 for your Bane anyway, so that's fine. You wouldn't have rolled more. You've actually got 2 more Banes when you're targeting this thing with spells. Because it's resistant to magic.
Oh.
Banes, you only take the highest one anyway. You already rolled a 6, so it doesn't matter for the purpose of this. But 14 versus its agility. Eh? Now these are... 14 versus agility. James, you really think that's going to be good enough to hit this thing?
Probably not.
Chump? Well, chump you may be, but it is good enough to hit.
Booyah.
So, one creature you can see with physical body, each creature and object within things takes 6 damage. Okay?
But that's me. That's around me, though.
After effect. Oh, it takes 30 points of damage. Jesus. All right. Oh, it's only the one creature, right? Oh, that ain't... Yeah. It's only the one thing. Okay? So, the Githyankai, his body, or its body, because you really can't tell the gender, or the sex, I should say, is racked with pain, but certainly nowhere near down. Yeah.
Nowhere near.
Oh. Nowhere near. However, it says something to the, because it's holding onto the reins with its one hand as well. Or no, it's just standing on the mount. It says something to Virfaxis. And Virfaxis wheels around, and you can see this thing is arcing its head towards you, Ember. It knows what caused it pain. Remember, you can summon your Griffin if you choose to as a free action.
Okay.
Okay. Who would like to go next before I take another turn?
Rakus will go.
Okay, what's Rackets doing?
Well, first of all, he unleashes his barbarian rage.
Awesome. If you click on that, let's see what all happens. Fantastic. I can't wait for this thing to fall down and then for you to attack a Griffin. Fuck you! Bam! I have no one to attack.
All right.
Oh, God. If anything is appropriate for the Wilhelm scream, it'll be the moment after Rakus chops his Griffin's head off and then begins falling down into the water below. And it'll be like, Jesus, what the hell's the thing where you're like, oh, I think he's okay, and then some other bad thing happens?
Nice.
You'll fall down into the water, then you'll fall over the waterfall. Holy shit, though. All right, so I take it then you are your strength emboldened by your rage. You spur your Griffin onto action. Your Griffin screeches and dives down at this dragon. You wheel up along the side. Are you trying to attack the rider or the dragon?
Let's go with the rider.
Okay. So you're racing over. This thing raises its sword up, but you are easily able to get past it. And yeah, there's almost like a singing, like two tuning forks being, rung against each other. Yeah, as you bring your sword in. There you go, guys. Here's my May the 4th reference. I got a lightsaber sound in on the whoa, and you cut through this thing. You cut a nasty gash on the back of this thing. Yeah, it turns around, and its eyes get big, its yellowed eyes. And you remember, Rakus, this is the very thing you saw in your dream. And it looks, its yellowed eyes up at you, and you think you see fear because it knows what you have in your hands. You have a shepherd, and if you drop him with the shepherd, his spirit will be trapped within it. Mm. So you did 26 damage. My God. All right, you also rolled over 20. Oh, hold on. He needs to make a strength challenge, which will not be good at this height. Holy shit. Let's see, your strength challenge. Unfortunately, he does have a fuck ton of strength. Yeah, so he's still in the saddle. And he needs to make an agility challenge to avoid being blinded. He does succeed on his agility challenge as well. And when it exceeds, you can do an... Oh, so you want to do an extra D6?
Yeah, he should probably also make a will challenge for my Frightful Wrath.
Frightful Wrath. What does that do?
When I go berserk, each creature within short range who is not a member of your group must get a success on a will challenge.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been in short range. Oh, he's not in short range when you raged. Okay. Oh no, he would have been because that would have happened immediately. Yeah. He's okay. The thing is, these guys, both the dragon and him, are immune to fear, so they won't. They even if they fail their thing, they're still gonna be fine. Okay. So roll 1d6 for me, and then I'll apply that damage, and then someone else gets to go. Actually, you know what? I think Verfax is going to go again.
And then I think I get another d6 for combat expertise.
That is already included in your damage.
Oh, it is, eh? Okay.
Yeah. If you take a look at your thing here, so I think you're doing, with a Berserker Greatsword, you've got an extra, I think you're doing 6d6. Which is the 3d6 that you normally do, plus the 1 from combat, whatever, plus 2 from your Berserker. So 1 extra. All right, cool. So this thing now, Virfaxis, it takes another of its turns. So it wheels or spins around, and it is going try and knock you out of your saddle. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. What is your strength currently?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Strength is 16.
16. Uh-oh. So Dave, This thing's strength is a 17, which means it is +7 to this roll, which means I need to roll an 8 or less to not knock you out of your saddle. Let's hear. I think we can start a new hashtag, pray for Rackets. I'll hold this up so you know I'm not fucking around here. It's a 6.
No.
So it hits you, tries to knock you out of the saddle. You wheel around, you grip the saddle of your griffin. It cries out like a bird of prey, and then arcs around you, still secure in its saddle. Who's next, guys?
It's just me and Nute left, or Halen hasn't acted yet.
Halen hasn't acted. I'll charge in.
Okay.
And in the old tongue, I'll say, "You do not belong in this world."
Nice.
Yeah.
It looks up at you, hateful eyes trained on you. What are you gonna do?
Stab him with a spear. Kind of swoop in, double hand the spear, and try and plunge it into him.
Nice.
Okay, I guess now I should pull up my character sheet and make that roll.
Good. Sadly, a colorful description will not cut it in terms of the attack roll. Though the colorful narrative is much appreciated. Nice. Awesome. That's over 20.
I will, because I got a good roll. I believe I should activate my key focus as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I will show him what I learned. I should have used the fucking spell. Okay, next time. Next time.
Okay. We do the second action now, Brent. Because you rolled over 20. Oh, nice. Okay. He seems quite hurt. As that goes off. He looks at you. How did you learn our secrets in Old Tongue?
All right. So instead of refocusing my key, I guess.
Did you hear what he said?
How do you learn our secrets?
Yes.
Ooh. This is a way of my ancestors.
And he says something in Old Tongue that you find a little confusing. He laughs and says, "The disciples of Zerai will never stop us." And go and take your second action. Oberon, you probably hear this as well, too. Want to hear an interesting bit of tidbit of lore, Brent?
Okay.
You know what Zerai translates from in Old Tongue?
What's that?
Founder.
Ooh.
So, what's your second action?
It will be mighty attack, but when I click on it, it's not doing anything.
Are you? It should prompt for boons and banes. Maybe you should take a look for that.
Oh, that's probably what it's doing.
Yeah.
All right. Further spells will automatically give me that boon.
Yes. Anything that you're getting an automatic boon from, like from your Cenobite, it's going to automatically apply that to all of your rolls.
Oh, okay, cool. So
yeah, Cenobite stuff you don't need to worry about for either you or Oberon. Whoa, awesome. 20 though, 20 is good enough, yeah. Okay, so you lash out at him again. Boom. He is hurt. So now he will take his next action before you get away. He spins around. He reaches out his free hand. And he yells out, oh man, not 20. Yells out, life. And you take You take 18 points of damage. As you can feel, it's like streams of white energies draining out of you as you can feel your muscles spasm and weaken, and he draws that life into himself.
If this wouldn't be a spell by chance, would it?
It is a spell, but I rolled a nat 20, so there's not.
But I think I can take half damage from spells if I can.
Oh, maybe you do. Yeah.
Let me just double check. I'm gonna make sure I got it right.
Mm-hmm. And then it'll be, I guess, Nute's turn or Oberon's turn. Who wants to go?
All right. Nute will scooch on up.
So you take 9 points of damage, Brent.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So, and he got a bane to his roll. That's neat. Yeah. Okay. And what the hell is this?
So Nute, you go on your Griffin, I'm assuming?
Yes. Bring in the Griffin. There you go. And, yeah, I took some damage there. And then he will use Flicker to, he's already sworn his vow of vengeance.
So you have to add that extra boon to your attack roll. But other than that, I don't think you've got anything else.
Okay. Apart from just my regular attack. Trickery and backstab.
Yep, go ahead.
There we go. And you get an extra boon. That gives me 4 boons. Come on, baby. Ooh.
Oh, that's so not good. So no, unfortunately, you go sweeping around, and because he's been battered from every side now, he sees you coming and deeks out of the way.
However, because I'm within range now, he is frightened, unless he's immune to that or something.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's immune to both he and Virfaxis are immune to fear.
All right.
All right, then the last, but certainly not least, is Oberon. What are you doing, buddy?
Oberon, as all the others, shall charge in on him.
Hey, Oberon, you would have totally been able to hear all the stuff about the founder and that stuff, too.
Yeah. And Oberon also says something in the old tongue. He says, I'll let you in on a little secret. Today will be your last day.
Nice.
And I will use my Ardent Surge. And I will use my Augmented Attack spell.
Awesome.
And then make my attack. So that is 2 boons added onto the... So if I click on this, it comes with the boons you've already added, right?
It comes with the boons that I've already added are the ones from Cenobite. That will automatically be added to every roll you make.
Right, so I should add the ones that the spells or whatever just gave
That's
me.
right, yeah. Any situational ones that you've got, you add those in.
That is not a very good attack, but luckily, because of my battle spell, I roll all of these attacks twice.
Here we go.
Nice.
That is way fucking better. Hell yeah.
And if that hits, he takes 2d6 extra damage.
That absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll your extra damage.
That is 2d6 extra.
Good thing.
From my 2 different spells.
Yeah.
Oh, are you serious?
Oh, that's balls.
Wow.
You finally heard him. Yeah, that's really fucking good.
Oh.
Okay. So let's see. They still have his actions have been taken now. Virfaxis still has 1 more. I think Virfaxis is going to. Who hurt him? You know, I'm just going to roll random because I think there's good arguments to be made as to why each of you should be attacked. I got 1, 2, 3. I'll start from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Nute.
Of course.
Nute. You know what? Actually, I've got 3 attacks. So, Nute, you're getting the worst of it with the bite. So this massive dragon, its head sort of spins up and around and then tries to come down on your body. Yeah, so let's see here. Now, before I roll, do you want to use your dodge, or have you used a triggered action already?
I have not used a triggered action.
Yes, you have, because you used it to swear your oath of enmity.
But that was before this turn.
No, that's all this turn. That was the start of this turn when they took their action.
The villain
we haven't had we haven't had the end of turn yet. They just have a lot of actions.
Get up.
So nothing?
If I don't have a triggered action.
Nope.
That's why the villains.
Do you have well, no, actually, you can't use a fortune point to get in a triggered action. So let's see. This thing arcs up and down. Oh, my goodness. Now, is your defense more than 17?
It is 17.
Oh, so bad. Then this thing's bite hits. So Nute, you take
God.
13 points of damage, and you take 3 fire on top of that. So 16 points of damage in total. Now, what you could do, you can make an agility challenge to try and get your griffin to take that damage instead.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, agility challenge, sure.
Okay. Give me the agility challenge.
Okay. I think I'm out of trickery now.
Okay. So let's see here. Fortunately, your agility is really high.
This it is.
Oh, nice. So that means your griffin takes another, what did I say, 16 points of damage?
Yeah. You might be falling into the water soon, Nute.
Yeah, I think something. Either way, whether it's me or it's the griffin that gets wasted.
So then, okay, that's the first. Dave and Brent, can you guys hear me again?
Yeah, we're back. Hangouts died momentarily on us.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate your effort to try and dodge out of the way. Guys, I'm going to dodge by getting offline.
Yeah.
We didn't even have to. It was an automatic action on Hangout's part.
Okay, so now Rackus. One of these massive claws is coming at you, buddy. Ooh, shit, fuck. I rolled 29.
Yeah, I guess that hits.
Yes, that hits. So what you can do is just, as with Halen, you can make an agility challenge to try and get your griffin to take it instead, or you can just take it yourself.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. You take another 6 points of damage. And Oberon, I rolled a 27 against you. I take it that hits. You can likewise make an agility challenge to try and get your griffin to take it, or you can take it yourself. What do you think? Oberon?
Hello.
Jeff, can you hear us? Jeff's still there. Oh, Jeff's away from his chair.
It's gone for now.
You scared him off with your like.
This is the feature. Yeah, I told you, dragon causes fear. So let's see here. Oh, Jeff, you back?
Where?
Jeff, you back?
Yeah.
So you have a choice. No, you have a choice of making an agility challenge to have the griffin take the damage instead, or just taking the damage yourself. Virfaxis has hit you with a claw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I'll make an agility challenge.
Okay. Yeah, because your griffin hasn't taken any damage yet.
No one here heard me say I would be right back, eh?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
This is not how you make friends with griffins, by the way.
Well, they're magic. It's not a real griffin, Brent. It's a freaking robot.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah. Oberon totally assumes it's some kind of a animal or magical creature, not a...
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I believe that is it for Virfaxis and for the enemy and for all of you guys. So end of round. Let's make sure there's no other actions that happen here. There's not any end of round actions. There should be with the dragon. The top of the round, guys. Who wants to take a fast action? Who wants to take a slow action?
Would you guys rather me dispense some healing to you guys, or do you want me to unleash?
I could use a little bit. I might be able to take an extra hit.
Unleash.
But that might also help too.
It's just because he's resistant to spells, so I'm up against some banes. So I'm just wondering if my efforts
I
might
think a heal would be useful. Personally.
All right, I'm going to do a slow round.
Nute's half or more, and I'm half or more, and heals only get us back 1/4 of our health, so they could kill us as well.
What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spend a fortune point to cast 2 spells.
Wow.
So three people are going to get...
Before we get ahead of ourselves, remember the enemies can act before you. So let's pick our turns, whether we're taking fast or slow turns. Has everyone done that?
Yeah.
I'm doing slow.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you're taking a slow turn? Well, you'll be at the end.
Let's see how many actions each of these things have. First, the Virfaxis. Oh, guys. I got to stop using this dice.
Yeah, you always roll like that. Doesn't matter what die you're using.
That's not true. When I play BattleTech against you, Steve, I roll nothing but shit.
Right.
It's tempting to take a slow turn, but for some reason I can't get the fast turn off of him, so he's got both markers.
There is, boom, for the enemy.
Stupid.
So, here, Brent, 1 second. Where is your character? You've hidden him.
He's at the bottom right of the dragon.
I don't see him on my sheet whatsoever. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he was under his griffin.
Dragon, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Never mind. I was changing the griffin's color, not Halen's. They were just overlapped, and I'm like, why is it not going away, you bastard? I've been putting this. Okay.
Just as an FYI, there was a reason that I didn't put you guys on the actual griffins. So, all right. So, unfortunately, guys, Virfaxis has more actions than you guys. And Virfaxis will take his action first. He does appreciate all of you guys clustering yourselves together, though. Makes it easier to use his weapon. There's this gout of flame that comes out, and I need everybody who's adjacent to Virfaxis to give me an agility challenge with 2 Banes, please. Including your griffins. Oh, you guys are so lucky. I mean, relatively speaking. Whoa, nice one, Halen.
Oh, whoops, that's the wrong way, but he failed anyway, horribly.
Okay, so griffins. Oh yeah, maybe it's 2 Banes.
Yeah.
For the griffin, yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay, so hold on, guys. I want to make sure that we're just doing this correctly here.
Is this a challenge roll?
Nute should have had 1 Bane on his. Oberon.
I thought you were letting us use our defense.
Well, your trickery would only give you 1 boon or 1.
I mean, because we're elves, the extra 2 against.
Oh yes, you would have 2, so it would have been a net of 0. How did you get another Bane?
Oh, plus trickery.
Well, trickery. Oh no. Well, trickery plus 1 from your elf.
Oh, plus 1. Okay.
Yeah, so it would have been a net of 0. That's fine. You rolled so well, though, Nute. Like you would have succeeded regardless. So who? Okay, I'll leave
my
it to you guys.
griffin's actual roll.
Oh, okay. So that means those who succeeded, you take. Let me see what the math is here. Those who succeeded take 7 points of damage. Those who failed take 14.
You see a lot of red on the bars over there.
Is your griffin down for the count?
I think so. take 7. So 26. 7 for me, and how much for the Griffin? Sorry,
14.
Doesn't look good. Plus 35. 14 plus 35 is
49. Whoa! Still alive.
Has it got one left? Oh my gosh.
One hit point left. So this thing is nearly ready to fall apart.
Fly to me.
All right.
Okay, now the enemy. I think.
Kev, what are how much damage do we take versus the Griffin?
If you succeeded in your roll, if you rolled 10 or higher on your agility challenge, if you succeeded, you took 7 points of damage. If you failed, you took 14.
And we can choose whether or not that.
No, that's both of you guys. It's both the Griffin and you take that. So that's why you rolled the challenge for your Griffin as well. Oh, you didn't roll for your Griffin yet. So roll for your Griffin. Let's see. You take 14 points of damage. The Griffin, let's see how he does with agility with 2 Banes. Oh, nice. So Griffin only takes 7. You take 14. And then the enemy. Oh, the enemy. What will he do? Yeah, that sounds like something he would do. Let's see. I'm going to roll again randomly between Oberon and Halen because he fucking hates the two of you guys. Now it's Jeff's turn. Jeff, evens or odds?
Odd.
Okay, so odd. He's targeting you then. He turns towards you. And his claw out, his clawed hand, gestures like this. And he says, life again. Let's see, anything?
I use my, is it a, oh, is he attacking my intellect, my will, or my perception, or no?
He's targeting your intellect, yeah.
Okay, then I use my psychic defense,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes 2 Banes.
2 Banes, awesome. So that means just a naked roll for him. Let's see how this goes. Well, that is his intellect. 17. Does that hit your intellect?
Yeah, I'm not the smartest character.
That is quite all right. So he hits you, and you take 18 points of damage.
I am very dead.
And are you down?
Oh yeah.
So
way
he hits
past
you.
my life.
And again, it's those white tendrils of power are feeding out of Oberon, and he slumps over in his saddle as this guy is invigorated again. All right, now heroes' turns. Who wants to go? So fast turns. We got Nute or Rakus. Rakus, you just saw your brother go down.
Wow. Maybe Nute will shoot and then duck back to Ember.
Remember, it's fast turn. You only get 1 action.
But my Griffin can still move, though, right?
Your Griffin can still move. Yeah, if you move out of the reach of Virfaxis, though, it'll get a triggered action to do a free strike.
Oh man! Boo! I don't want that.
Who wants to go first?
All right. Well, I'll take my shot first.
Are you attacking the rider or the dragon?
Yeah, we're going for the rider, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Plus trickery. Where's my plus my everything? Come on, baby.
Yay! That is outstanding. Okay. So he's injured again.
Get another attack.
And you rolled, actually, you know what, Steve? If you were planning on moving away, you did roll well enough to take a second action. You could use that action to just move towards Ember if you wanted.
And he wouldn't get an attack of opportunity?
There's still attack of opportunity. Yep, it still has a potential free strike.
Or you could try and kill the rider.
I could try and kill the rider.
Kill the rider. Kill the
rider.
And then because your griffin hasn't moved, the griffin could attack too, right?
So I get trickery, and do I get backstab again, or is backstab only once per turn? Hold on.
I think backstab is. It should say on the readout for it, but it should only be once per turn, I think.
Hey, Kev.
Actually, I don't know. Go ahead.
His griffin isn't moving. Could his griffin attack as well?
No. His griffin is keeping him aloft right now. It's hovering.
Once per round. 1d6.
Once per round. Okay.
Well, I still make the attack with the 2 boons from the dagger.
Yep.
And I could use trickery again if I wanted to.
That's right.
Which would also get me 1d6 extra. So I would subtract 1d6 from the net.
From a trickery and backstab attack. But backstab also does extra damage though, so that's why you can't just use that again.
Right, but what I could do though is it basically I'd be using the same attack as I would still be getting the amount of damage. Wait a second here.
You can only backstab once per turn, so you can't roll.
I can either add 2d6 or subtract 1d6. Yeah, okay, I'll just add 2d6.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 boons, and I add a boon. Boom, and then I add.
I think there was 1, 2. No, that's right. That's the correct number of boons. Okay, so yeah, so you hit him again,
and I add 1d6 damage, at least.
What from?
From my trickery, because trickery gives 1d6 damage when I use it.
And what damage? Well, that includes 2d6 extra damage right now.
That's from the dagger itself.
Got it. Okay, from the magic. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So you go in and you stab and slash back and forth, and you manage to hit this thing again. All right. Nute is gone. Who would like to go next before I get the impulse to go with the dragon again?
Oh, can I go next?
You're taking a slow turn, Brent. So no.
All right, never mind. I will not go next. I will.
Rackus. I guess you're up next, Rackus. What are you doing?
You know what? Rackus.
Oh, fuck! You have very little choice in the matter because you're a berserk.
Oh shit! So I can't even help Oberon.
No.
All right. Well, I guess he's gonna keep doing what he does best.
Yeah. Attack the griffin.
Yeah. What? Damn no. Alrighty.
Nice.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Let me make those challenges for him. Strength challenge, success. Agility challenge, success. Okay. Wow, that is a fucking massive hit, though. Yeah, and
I'll take a D6 on that as well.
Okay, go ahead and roll D6.
Like you.
Yeah, the suspense is like.
Oh, there you go. 3.
Hits again. Now, okay, I'm going to go with Verfaxis again before the slow actors go. And
damn, that guy takes.
We're going to try again here. Halen, what is your strength?
10. Ugh.
So I need to roll a 1 or a 2 to fail for knocking you from the saddle. Let's see here. Now the new hashtag is pray for Halen.
Is there something I can do to counter that?
So this thing,
or otherwise,
this thing pinwheels in the air and then lashes out. You go flying out of the saddle, and you are currently mid-air, Halen, falling back. Your griffin is sort of pinwheeling around just because of the force of that strike. But you've been moved back effectively 1 range band. and you're pinwheeling and falling back. You didn't take any damage from it.
Do like, yeah, I guess.
Okay. So that was Virfaxis. I still have one more action with Virfaxis. And I'm going to save that action. Ember or Halen, who would like to go next?
I'll go. I'm targeting the rider again. And I'm... Where the...
Remember 2 Banes on your spells?
Okay. So... I'm going to do that to get rid of one.
Okay.
And I'm going to disintegrate.
Ooh.
Nice.
You know what you did roll? The same number you rolled last time.
I knew.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, however, as with your elven allies, this thing seems to be remarkably resilient to magic. So, that means substantial damage to it, but not as much as you would have hoped.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, I'm spending a fortune point, and I'm doing it again.
Okay.
Except I can't use the other one.
The spell. Okay. So go ahead and make your roll with 2 Banes.
Yeah.
So it'll be 3 because of your frightened condition.
3 Banes?
3 Banes in total. Yeah. Go ahead.
Nice.
Okay. So he is on the edge of death.
Yeah.
Hey, Kev, I got a question for you.
Of course.
If I were, say, to all of a sudden fly out and smack into the dragon and that guy with the strength of a falling mountain, are my allies within 4 yards, or would they be sufficiently far away to...
Everyone's been attacking at melee range, so yeah, they will be.
Just do it anyways.
Is it worth it, Brent? Is it worth it, I wonder?
Well, he has to make an agility, which he's pretty good at, and then if he fails it, he takes 2d6 damage and falls prone. Same with the dragon. But falling prone might be splooshing, which might be a good thing.
What do you think? What do you think? You're falling through the air. Got to make a decision.
There's my decision for you.
Up into the air. Wow! And you hit the back of this dragon. Virfaxis crawls around. Now, Brent, do you really think 5 fucking damage is going to be enough to take this guy down?
Yes.
Like, if you knew how much damage this did before you made this choice, right? Like, you totally understood what the maximum amount of damage you could do with this. Do you honestly think that kind of chump move is going to be enough to take down a general in the Githyankai army?
Incrementally.
Well, you're absolutely right. Your spear, you fly through the air as if this was destined to happen. Come flying down, and like a thunderclap, you hit the back of this, skewer through the back of this wizened, twisted, gray-skinned humanoid, skewer right through him, and then back into the neck of the Virfaxis, who cries out, flame trickling behind its open maw. This thing turns, dropping its sword as it falls down like a single tear towards the rushing waters below, and grabs at its back, desperately trying to get out. It looks and spends enough time to, or rather, it has enough energy to turn, and its gray eyes locks with you, and it says in old tongue, "I will remember you." He's gone. Now, I need.
Hey, I got a cool dragon mount.
I need Rakus and Nute to make an agility challenge for me, please.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys take 5 points of damage.
Okay, so Rakus only takes 2 points.
And you're not knocked prone, which is probably good.
And I'll take 1 boon for my trickery. Boom.
Nice. Okay, so you only take 2 points of damage as well there, Nute.
Alrighty.
Oh, but yeah, it doesn't really matter if you take extra damage now.
No, that kills me.
What do you mean?
Does it not?
How much damage have you taken in total?
Well, I was incapacitated.
Let's see here. Let's see what the rules say.
If the creature takes damage while incapacitated, it dies.
Brent,
Really?
what did you do?
I think you just killed Oberon.
General.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know that I was going to do that. Or that's how that thing worked.
Okay, here's where things get even better. Now that the general is dead, I imagine you guys want to chill out, right? And try and see if this dragon's gonna settle down.
Well, I hope so. I'm on his fucking back.
No, but here's the problem. Rakus, what are you gonna do with your action?
Fight the griffin.
Well, there is still a dragon, so.
Aww.
I love this game.
So do I get to go then?
Virfaxis gets to take an action first because he does have one more this round. And he is going to try to once again dislodge this nasty little elf. You know what I'm going to do instead? It's for sure going to fucking throw you off the back, Brent. What I want to know, though, is whether you can hold on to your spear or not. So I need you to make a strength challenge against his.
Oh.
So it's not a challenge. You need to resist his strength, and if you succeed, you're going to pull your spear out. His strength, incidentally, is a 17.
Can I use fate or fortune on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, or can I just make it a success if I fail after the fact?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that as well. There's no reason not to roll first.
Okay, so I will try to roll, and I will use my trickery.
Okay.
To try pull it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Usually, I think trickery is probably more used to stick it in than pull it out, but we'll go with pulling it out.
That's what she said. Awesome roll. Okay, cool. So you were thrown out, and you are now once again sailing through the air again too.
Hey, Kev, I just got one question for you. I didn't mean to hurt Oberon.
Yep.
If say next round I use my bow of teleporting and teleport it on.
Hey, Brent, let's be clear on the nomenclature here. You didn't mean to kill Oberon.
Is that healing potion fixable?
Is
it a resurrection potion, Brent?
All right, so
I can do CPR.
Nute is flying through the air. We know that Rakus has to take. Mark yourselves, guys, whether you're taking fast or slow turns. I'm going to roll once again to see how many actions Virfaxis has this turn. Fuck me.
So it's opposite day today, right?
Seriously. So here's what happens: is
Halen.
Is anyone taking a slow turn? Halen is flying through the fucking air right now. Oberon is dead.
Take it fast. And Rakus is about to fuck some shit up.
Oh, something on the Google call crashed. We've all been having Google call issues today. Jeff, can you hear us again?
Oh, that's
someone type to him, see if he can hear. Ask him if he can hear us again. All right, so faster and faster and faster and faster. Great. Okay, so let's do Rakus first. Rakus, would you kindly attack a dragon?
I will.
And miss.
Nope.
Damn you.
Rakus brings his mighty... Oh, you know what? You're so close to missing, too.
Oh, that worked.
Bring your mighty sword up, and you hack down into this dragon. You do a shit ton of damage. It turns its eye, looks at you, and you can tell from the knowing look in its eye, it's communicating to you to say, Minotaur, do you not know I've got 3 fucking actions this turn?
Yeah, Rex doesn't really care about that. Psst. He's done with
that. Brings in a deep inhale. You can see this fires in its eyes flare up like a blast furnace. It turns, and then it says something in common. It says, we'll find out what happens next session.
Really? Nice.
So let me stop sharing and then log out of the call here. Okay, so we stop sharing, put the camera back on, get rid of roll 20. Nope. My camera is frozen again. Let me turn the camera off, turn it back on, then get proper resolution here. Boom! All right, guys. So, whew.
Jeff, I'm so sorry. I had no idea my action was.
No, don't worry about it, Frank.
So,
he's coming back.
This is exciting. What's happened this session? You fought your first dragon. Oberon and Halen encountered the enemy finally, but one of them fell, though not to the enemy's blades. You drove off a general of the enemy, but at the cost of one of your own and potentially the rest of the party. Will you survive the wrath of Virfaxis? As Steve has pointed out earlier, a dangerous and lethal ancient red dragon? Well, I look forward to seeing in 2 weeks' time. For those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for this very exciting session. Oh, and by the way, guys, those of you who are still alive, welcome to level 8.
Ooh.
Ooh, you'll need it. So, those listening at home, please, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding this session, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will endeavor to respond in a timely fashion. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us in one of the final sessions for this particular campaign. We look forward to, well, appreciate you watching, and we hope to keep you on the edge of your seat up until the very last session. So, thanks, folks. We'll see you again soon.